done. The Saints by 14 points.
ABC Sport.
Comedy, music and tricky clues.
Because Spicks and Specs is back. More music than a comedy night, more comedy than a concert, and enough trivia to impress your co-workers for weeks.
New Spicks and Specs. Streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Sport.
AFL. On ABC Radio.
On digital. And ABC Listen.
Look for the AFL button.
It's been a giant task in more ways than one. Geelong winless in their past 4 encounters with the Greater Western Sydney Giants. And in the context of this season, any win would be a good one for Chris Scott's men, who sit just inside the top half of the ladder after their little mid-season slide. 4 losses in their past 5 starts. Their next task against their biggest bogey team in magnificent conditions here at the Sydney Showground. Brett Sprigg is my name. Saturday footy on ABC Sport as round 18 rolls on. It's our Saturday twilight feature where very shortly Daniel Garb will call the opening ball up. Repeating, there is a late change for the Cats. Mark O'Connor is out. Mitch Nevitt comes in for his second game of this season, his first since opening round. There are 3 changes all up for the home side, no late ones, but out of last week's win against Fremantle, Lockie Whitfield concussed. Joey Delana and Connor Stone have been omitted. In comes Jaden Laverde back from a hamstring. Xavier O'Halloran, who returns today from ankle syndesmosis. First game since round 8. It's also his 26th birthday, for what it's worth. Also his 99th AFL game. And Phoenix Gothard, the young gun, also back in for the Giants. But our experts are in position with the opening ball up only a few moments away here on this glorious day in the Harbour City. Firstly, dual All-Australian and former Giants captain, still current Giant, Alicia Eva. She plays, she coaches. She's one of our best analysts on ABC Sport, alongside former Giant and Lion and 2-time best and fairest up in Brisbane, Joel Patfull. Welcome again to you both as we get your final few thoughts on how this transpires across a massive game for both sides.
I'll start, Joel. Look, I mean, from a Giants perspective, they get their game back on track last week against Fremantle, top of the table, and a lot of it came out of stoppage. A lot of it in the last month. Adam Kingsley wouldn't necessarily be all that pleased with the stoppage game, and particularly scores from stoppage in that game against Hawthorn. We know 3 weeks ago here the Giants didn't have their greatest showing against Carlton. They went to work, they addressed some things against the Hawks, and then last week had a really good performance against Fremantle. So from the Giants, they've been looking to really get the game going from the first centre bounce here. Geelong, they need to bounce back in terms of this little form, something we speak of. O'Connor missing out of that back half, but one thing that Geelong do better than anyone else in the competition is move the ball with speed, and particularly on turnover. So it's a really important score source for them out of their back half. So the Giants need to shut that down, and the Cats need to start really strong in terms of winning, if they are winning that first centre bounce, getting their game going, that speed on ball, and giving their forwards first access.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, that's what the Giants got going last week, wasn't their clearance and their field position. They held the ball in the front half of the ground and continued with those repeat entries inside forward 50. But there's going to be some big jobs out there. Obviously, Toby Green, Jake Stringer was so big last week, so I would like to see a bit of attention go towards them. A few key Cats will have some key matchups there as well. As we talked about before, some of those Geelong superstars who have been down on form, how they can respond today and get the game on Geelong's terms.
Jeremy Cameron said he was borderline pathetic last week. Just the 2 kicks, no goals in that loss to the Brisbane Lions. They lost by 22 points. We'll see if a man who knows this ground very well can bounce back today. The toss won by Patrick Dangerfield. The Cats will kick to the right of screen, or right of your ABC Listen app or radio on this beautiful Saturday here in Sydney, which brings us to the 5th member of our team who is stationed boundary side. Phil Pryor is there. G'day, Phil.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. An optimistic crowd building here at the showground, and after a dreary week in Sydney, it's a beautiful dry July Saturday. It could be mistaken for late August. It's a cooling 18 degrees and barely a cloud to spot this afternoon. I can report Mark O'Connor, Geelong's late withdrawal is due to quad tightness. GWS's banner this afternoon read, down at the category, we've won the last 5. Up here at home, we'll eat you alive. The Western Sydney fans love twilight like footy, and so do we. Showtime at the showground.
Love it. Thank you, Phil. The opening ball up here is just precious seconds away. Your text remain welcome, 0437 774 774. And also a milestone of sorts of Mark Blitzar's game number 309 today. He officially becomes the most capped rookie lister of all time, outright surpassing Luke Bruce. So game number 309 today for the Cats. As the players spread here, all the stars are out there. Bailey Smith. We'll see what happens up forward as well with Jake Stringer, of course, kicked 7 goals last week. Career best for the Giants. Cameron goalless for the Cats. It is a fine Saturday here at the showground on ABC Sport. You're with Dan Garb.
And Jeremy Cameron is standing at centre half back. So they have really moved the magnets around to get him into the game. That is really interesting as the Rucks go at it. Briggs straight down, but into the arms of Blitzavs, who sends the Cats forward. Sam Taylor, the two-time All-Australian, marks in front of Shannon Neal.
Sorry, Garby. Not only centre-half back, but starting on his very good mate, Toby Green.
Isn't that interesting? Kick from Taylor goes to Wyden. Ash tries to move it out of defensive 50, but the Cats cut it off. Here's Atkins winning it in the clinches, as he so often does. Gives it to Holmes in the middle of the showground on his left, kicks to half forward and finds Jeremy Cameron, who's now moved just outside attacking 50.
It was unmarked, now goes inside 50, kick a little too deep down there for Neal, bounce there in the defensive 50 for Himmelberg, off to Angwin, the left footer beyond defensive 50. Mark was spilled by Cornelio. They go in hard here, out of bounds for a throw-in at right half forward for the Cats.
We were looking at matchups to start the game. So Bailey Smith and Clayton Oliver, they're going head-to-head. And Oisin Mullen gone straight to Finn Callahan. So he's going to have a tough day today.
So Jeremy Cameron has got licence clearly to run wherever he wants to around the ground. He's now behind the ball as Briggs kicks up to the wing. Coming out to meet it is Tom Stewart. Superb mark on the logo. Full-chested. And the Cats go inside 50 again. The target is Jack Henry, punched away from him from Harry Himmelberg. So the boundary throw-in just inside attacking 50, right half forward for the Cats. No score yet, a minute and a half into this one at the Sydney Showground.
One of the most outrageous things I've seen, I think. Jeremy Cameron lining up at centre half back.
It'll be unsettling. If you're Toby, you'd be unsettling. Wouldn't you? Not expecting that, are you, for your old mate?
It's a good way to get into the game, though. He's already had one possession.
It's actually a spare behind the ball now.
Neal versus Briggs in the ruck. Briggs just hacks it clear here for the Giants. Picked off, though, by a former Giant and Tanner Bruin. Little 1-2 punch at Dangerfield. From everyone, he goes Bruin. Centering ball down towards full forward. Reaching Wiltshire. Couldn't quite pull it in. It's at the top of the square now. Deep in attack for the Cats. The umpire says, give it to me for a ball up. Still no score inside the opening couple of minutes here in Sydney. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Up it goes. Briggs down here for Ash. Had one arm pinned down there by Nevitt. And it will ball up again.
This is really interesting tactically. He's a spare behind the ball, not just because it's a forward 50 stoppage.
Ball's in the right forward pocket. Bailey Smith can't gather it. Sam Taylor will clear the area, but he's turned it over. Cats have started well. Connor O'Sullivan's taken the mark forward of the wing. That's a nice smother by Cadman, but straight down to Jack Bowes. In fact, it was Kolodjasny. And his kick has been marked by Kieran Briggs. Inside 50s, though, 5 to Geelong, none to the Giants in the early stages.
Can they go forward of halfway here? They're still inside defensive 50. Taylor just spirals it beyond defensive 50, but Cameron comes up and marks here for the Cats. Forward of halfway on that far side of the ground, where it's been all the action in the game so far. Inside Geelong's attacking half. Dangerfield reaching for it. Iden gets in front. Spirals it out of bounds for a throw-in.
It's like the Giants are just going to have to use their spare number, trying to get it out of the back half at the moment. Every time they look up, they're looking up to a +1 Geelong jumper.
Earlier, the Saints beat Port by 14 points at Docklands. Just joined from there. Welcome. Back in it comes here. Inside attacking 50 now for Geelong. Atkins on hands and knees. Tunnels it away here. Run down, though, by Taylor. Ball comes free. Holmes toes it forward. And also fighting through a tackle is Oisin Mullen. But again, the umpire has it locked in for a ball up.
There's a huge amount of Giants jumpers around the footies in there, and they're outnumbered outside 50, so it's a bit of a defensive start from the Cats.
Briggs does well to knock Neal off the football and clear the area. Cadman comes out to meet it, just behind the centre. It's picked up by Toby Green. Bouncing ball inside 50. The Giants go inside 50 for the first time today. Gathered now by the youngster in Riley Hamilton. He's kicked towards goal. He's juggled right by the goal line by Kolodjasny, and he goes short to Tom Stewart in the left back pocket.
I'll go coast to coast quickly here. The Cats. Cameron is now familiar left half back position. Goes up the outer side. Big leap from the back there with Fonte. No mark taken. Dangerfield wrapped up. Ball still moving here, though. Henry follows the hand pass forward here. Wiltshire run down. Shares it with Dempsey from the pocket. Walks around Ash. He'll snap Ollie Dempsey from 40 out. Rides it all the way home. So at last the Cats break through weight of possession and ball inside attacking half. And Ollie Dempsey scores the first goal of the game. Geelong 1 straight 6. The Giants yet to score for the opening 4.5 minutes. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull.
It was the run and carry from Jeremy Cameron, wasn't it, that opened up the game. He took it on, took a bounce, and it's probably the third inside 50 I think he's had for the first 5 minutes. So if they wanted to get him involved in the game, they've definitely done that. But beautiful finish, front and square, Ollie Dempsey.
He just gets out the back here. Just a lot of space. That's the speed on ball you mentioned, Joel. Geelong is scoring. They score very heavily when they can move the ball with speed. Number 1 in the comp for that. And Dempsey, how many times have we seen him do something like that this season? Really nice finish on the right foot.
The former Rising Star winner. Plenty of class on show there. Cats 1 straight 6. Giants yet to score. And they've only gone inside 50 once, GWS, in comparison to 7 times for the Cats. Here's Clayton Oliver, though. Gathers it in the middle of the ground and sends GWS into attack. But Connor O'Sullivan, the super impressive key back for the Cats, takes a strong defensive mark and sends it out wide to Jeremy Cameron. Handball on to another former Giant and Tanner Bruin. He wants it back from Holmes, but Holmes will just wait backward of the wing.
That last entry inside 50 for the Giants, that contest, that ball needs to be brought to ground when there are even numbers ahead of the ball.
Holmes driving ball, dropped down there at half forward by Jack Henry. Tries to regather. Giants have numbers, though. Comes to Finn Callaghan. Neat little left foot kick sliding in Toby Green. Marks on the wing, then the side of the showground. Geelong 1 straight 6. The Giants yet to score. It's with the home side skipper. Oh, picked off though. Green's kick missed. Ash went to Atkins. He goes inside 50 all by himself. Dangerfield marks 40 out all by himself. And he'll slow things down for a second here, the skipper.
Yeah, just poor skill execution there by Toby Green. But the Giants have just got their field position a bit out of whack. Their numbers and their structure deep in defence. So he didn't really have an option to go to when he looked forward.
Kicked 5 goals 2 against the Lions last week. Patrick Dangerfield, 8-time All-Australian, of course a Brownlow medalist. Number 373, comes now outright 12th on the all-time list. He pushes this across to the left-hand side, kept alive. Crumb by Wiltshire. No, we'll call it back here, I reckon, for a behind, as it just did carry for a minor score. It will be Geelong 1-1-7. Greater Western Sydney yet to score. 7 going first term Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
I think the Giants' backs were breathing a sigh of relief that was over the line because that ball was punched back into play.
Himmelberg short to Taylor, now up to Harvey Thomas, still inside defensive 50. So Jeremy Cameron has equalled his possession tally from last week inside 7 minutes of the first term with 4. Now that he's playing behind the ball in defence. Up from Harvey Thomas to the wing, gathered by Humphreys. Quick handball forward. Now Bailey Smith. Over the top he goes to Wiltshire. A long ball into attack. Angwin underneath it. Dangerfield's there. Couldn't take it on the first attempt. Was able to gather it on the second. Well tackled though. Now we'll have a ball up 15 out from Geelong's goal straight in front. Cats 1-1-7. Giants yet to score.
Stoppage inside 50 here for Geelong. Neal and Briggs in the ruck. Down it comes. Wiltshire toes it forward. Hand pass Clayton Oliver. Off here to Rouston. Thomas can clear here for the Giants beyond defensive 50. Chasing it Lawson Humphreys in the contest with Gothard. Gothard nudged him. Coming through though Blitzarve. Sweeps it back to left half forward. Inside 50 through Atkins. On to the Dangerfield lead. And he does take the mark and is paid the mark. 30 out on a angle in the left forward pocket. Lays off the hand pass here, and Manor bursting by, receives it and snaps from the same part of the ground as the previous goal, where Dempsey kicked the first. Manor makes it 2 early goals for the Cats. 2-1-13. The Giants yet to score through the opening 8.5 minutes. Saturday footy on ABC Sport, where your experts are Joel Patfull and Alicia Eva.
The Giants just can't work it out of defensive 50 at the moment, and it's one of those tactical ones where you have the extra number in and around the contest, but there's pressure on that number. They're blasting the ball out, and Aaron Cadman's having to fight 2v1 in the air. And Geelong, with their extra number just setting up outside their forward 50, are just able to win the ball back and put it back in with too much ease at the moment. So just something for Adam Kingsley to think about in terms of numbers and field placement.
Well, they should have a plan in place. I mean, it's a Geelong way that they play. It's usually Tom Stewart. On this occasion, it's Jeremy Cameron, but it's not always him. They're working it out, getting that loose behind the ball. The Giants got to be better at working that through.
Cats fans loving this. Fair few of them here in Sydney. It's a nice time slot to make a trip of it from Victoria as Lockie Ash takes the mark at centre half back. An important intervention for the Giants, who are under big pressure here. Down 2-1-13 to Zet. Here goes Angwin. Tucks it under his arm. Sends the Giants deep inside 50, and the mark is taken by Cal Brown. Now, that's a settling play for GWS. We'll see if the Irishman can finish it off from the pocket. 25 out. He's a long kick. Doesn't need all of that from here. But the Giants most certainly need their first goal of the afternoon. Brown runs around and kicks true. Giants on the board. Geelong 2-1-13. GWS 1 straight 6, and pretty easy comment to make, but that's their best passage of the game so far.
It absolutely was. The burst of speed from Ryan Angwin on the wing to run and carry with the ball, breaks the lines and then kicks a really nice kick to advantage to Callum Brown. And Callum Brown had a nice little seal out by Jake Stringer there, who held his opponent out. But, you know, that's a regular finish for Callum Brown. He would practice those kicks every time he comes off the training track. He asks for a footy in that exact position just to curl it round. So I reckon I've seen him kick more of those snaps than drop punts.
He's probably one of the best in the team, or maybe even in the AFL. Like kicking around the corner, isn't it? It's like that Irish heritage where he's used to kicking the ball around the body, but it was that quick ball movement that it made him get that one-on-one contest. The Geelong loose was back there but couldn't get across because the ball movement had been too quick.
Well, we see plenty of those at North Sydney Oval for the Australia Island AFL game, you reckon, Alicia?
I think so. I think so.
This is a sellout, by the way. The SCG's available, and there's a bit of a push to move that game to a bigger venue, which deserves that sort of stage. Centre clearance goes away at the Giants. Ash's kick was smothered, though. Bounce back for Ralston. One back for Atkins. Smother there from Bedford. One to Clayton Oliver. Handball play picked off. Overrun back by Cameron. Now Toby Green tries again. Little 1-2 the hands with Bedford. The skipper puts them back inside 50. Stringer in the contest with Colin Jasny. Down it comes to Cadman. And towed forward now by Cornelio. Humphreys gets there and Cornelio wraps him up at fullback for Geelong, who lead by 7 points here. 12 gone to the opening term. 2-1 plays one straight. 4:50 stoppage here for the home side. Briggs over his shoulder there for Toby Green. Hacks it out of the air and just deflects through for a minor score. 1-1-7 the Giants.
They've lifted their pressure here, GWS, and Toby Green's leading the charge up to 7 disposals. As the Cats try to move it out of defensive 50 from the left back pocket. Here is Tanner Bruin, the former Giant. Up to the wing. Nice mark taken by Ollie Henry. His kick, though, is really scrappy. Bouncing ball. Be gathered by Laverde just outside defensive 50, but coming across was Wiltshire to tap it over the boundary lines. We'll have a throw in just outside, attacking 50 for the Cats, left half forward. This has been a nice response by the Giants after Geelong dominated the first 10 minutes.
Jeremy Cameron's playing at half back. He just joined us earlier at Docklands. The Saints beat Port by 14 points. And to further sour the loss, injuries to Zach Butters, Mitch Georgiades and Lockie Jones. Meanwhile, the Giants from half-back through Ralston kick down the line. O'Sullivan with a nudge there on Cadman. One back here for Holmes, who can just thump it back towards 50. Taylor intercept, grabs second by it, reels it in. And they'll go again from half-back here, the GWS Giants.
I'd like to see Sam Taylor take the ball off the line here and not kick down the line to Geelong's spare numbers. So he hits a short there.
To Harvey Thomas, who was having a big breakfast in Bondi this morning, I saw. Fueling up for the game.
You ran into him?
I just saw him.
Oh.
With a couple of other Giants. I think Harry Ralston was one of them. As Oliver goes inside 50. Tanner Bruin's there. O'Sullivan's got some trouble and he's caught hold of the football. Tried to burst through the pack. Aaron Cadman said, "You're not going past me." Strong tackle by the Giants forward. And he'll have a shot from 40 out straight in front as a result.
You love to see that from your big key forwards, don't you? He hasn't troubled the possession getters yet, but strong contest, great tackle, holding the footy. But the Giants, you're right, Alicia, off the Sam Taylor intercept mark, they didn't blast it away. They hit those short targets, dragged that spare up a little bit, got him over the top and created that contest.
Cadman kicked 2-2 last week in the win over Freo to draw the Giants level. Straight through the middle, caps off his brilliant defensive work inside 50, Aaron Cadman. The leader of this Giants forward line now without Jesse Hogan there. 2-1-13 apiece. 14 minutes gone in the Sydney Showground.
What has impressed me with Aaron Cadman this year is his aerial dominance. He's filled out a little bit, and he's a big target in the air now, that particularly with Jesse Hogan out of the side. He's always running and jumping and flying at the ball. But what has been, I guess, a trademark of his game from day one when he came into the Giants was his work rate at ground level, his hunt at ground level. And it's really good to see your key forwards get rewarded from tackle pressure and hit the scoreboard off the back of that. So, yeah, we've seen massive growth in his game in the last 12 months, but one thing that he never, ever shies away from is contest at ground level.
Scores level here in Sydney. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Up it goes. Round in the contest with the Koning. Comes to ground level here as Callaghan lays the tackle and getting up underneath all of that is O'Sheen Mullen. To Phil Pryor shortly. Hit out comes to the outside now for Callaghan. Overruns the ball though. Mullen lays the tackle down there on Jack Ow, of course, one of their two debutants last week. And at the boundary, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, Geelong superstar Patrick Dangerfield has been taken behind closed doors after just coming off to be assessed by the physio. We'll have to keep an eye on that one.
That's interesting as Mitch Nevitt, the late inclusion, sends it up to attack. Good mark, Shannon Neal. Just outside 50, 45-degree angle to the right. Decides to poke it into the pocket for the lead of a teammate there in Ollie Dempsey. And he's taken the mark. He's on the non-preferred side for a right footer, so he'll have to try banana this one towards goal. But he kicked the first goal of the game, Ollie Dempsey, from the other side of the ground. We'll see if he can slot this one to put the Cats back in front. Former Rising Star winner. Strong mark by Neil it was to set this up. Ollie Dempsey in game 75. Doesn't need to open up the angle too much. Goes with a drop punt and slots it. Well, that's backing yourself. Sublime skill from Ollie Dempsey. He's second of the quarter. Cats 3-1-19. GWS 2-1-13. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts are Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull.
I'm interested to see which of the Giants defenders goes and stands next to Ollie Dempsey at this next centre bounce, because we spoke about Jeremy Cameron starting back. Connor Idun usually always goes to Jeremy Cameron. So what has this kind of tactical switch done in terms of the Giants matchups? Because Ollie Dempsey's causing some headaches there. In this instance, he was caught on Harry Himmelberg, and it just looks like, Himmelberg wants to fly and be that, second man in, third man up, so to speak. It'd be interesting to see, I think, who's going to Dempsey now.
He's on the wing. It's amazing how much space he does get. He's known to push forward and take those marks in the goal square, but he's found those little gaps inside 50 this quarter as well. But the Cats have been extremely patient outside 50. It's their fourth mark inside 50 where they've lowered the eyes and hit the target.
17 minutes here at the Sydney Showground on the restart. Ow off to Callaghan. Hand pass almost picked off by de Koning. Rowson kept it moving. Only inside 50 though. Wilshire there for the Cats. And now big contest with Harrison Oliver coming out off that full back line. And now it's locked in for a ball up 40 out from the Cats attacking goal. They lead by a kick 3-1-19, plays 2-1-13. Up it goes around the contest. O'Sheen Mullen. Now the hand pass comes wide. Bailey Smith off the Dempsey. Hurried kick. Trickles towards that central area. Iden run down. Manor picks up here. He snaps to the left and the unguarded square. That's superb finishing from Sean Manor. And a couple of goals for him as well. And the Cats with a couple in a row in quick time. 18 gone to the opening term. 4-1-25. Greater Western Sydney 2-1-13. 18 gone to the opening term. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Patrick Dangerfield is back on the Cats bench and everything looks A-OK. But, yeah, he was being assessed behind closed doors. There's almost like a little dead patch in behind the away bench down here at the showground, which is where players can sometimes be assessed. But everything appears to be OK.
That's good news if you're a Cats fan.
And it is, but I'll be loving the start regardless. 2 for Manor, 2 for Dempsey.
We talked about those Geelong key forwards and how they were going to react, but it's the smalls, like you said, Alicia, and they're just getting away from those Giants tall defenders. We know they're so good in the air, just not competing at ground level.
Cats by 12, 18 and a half gone in the first, and that's an easy tap down by de Koning, straight to Bailey Smith, uncontested. Out to the wing it goes, marked by Bowes, opposed to Angwin, over the top. The kick for Shannon Neal is intercepted by Sam Taylor, who started really well. Just his 6th game of the season, the 2-time All-Australian defender. No Jack Buckley there, his partner in crime. This is a nice start by Taylor. His team under a bit of pressure in this first term. Just punched towards the boundary line after Taylor's kick by Blitzabs. We'll have a throw in just forward of the wing. Looking forward to the matchup between O'Sullivan and Cadman throughout the afternoon. One of the best young key defenders up against one of the best young key forwards in the competition.
Umpire tosses it back in. Blitzabs in the contest with Cal Brown, and now he pins Blitzabs here in the tackle. On the subject of seeing footy players out and about, I did see a former Brisbane and GWS defender eating some of the filthiest donuts you'll ever see, by the way, at the Bondi Farmers Market earlier this morning. High spiral.
They're healthy, those donuts.
They are, actually. They're pretty good. Humphreys was a spoil on Toby Green. Free kick here going the way of the Cats for a hold.
Joel Patfield could have 3 of them and not put on weight.
That's the weekly treat.
It's with Tom Stewart. Saturday footy here on ABC Sport. And Jeremy Cameron, who's stationed at half back and has been since the opening ball up, has it for the Cats. They lead by 12 points here as we're about to hit time on the opening term.
Cameron's kick up to half forward. The leap there came from Harrison Oliver. Ball stays in. Here's Shannon Neal. Decided against kicking it for some reason and then shook off a tackle and handballed it forward. Now Dempsey just pokes it into the pocket. Ashes there, opposed to Manor, the 2 number 7s. And in the end, Holmes takes it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in left forward pocket for the Cats. Taylor and Green with 7 touches each for the Giants. Tanner Bruin with 6 for Geelong. Manor and Dempsey with 2 goals for the Cats.
Dempsey's looking really dangerous around stoppage. I thought it was forward, but he's just playing a really attacking wing role. But Xavier O'Halloran, his matchup is getting sucked in and he's holding width.
That stoppage here. Smith beats Oliver to the football. It's Bailey Smith against Clayton Oliver. And now dispossessed. Humphreys mopped up by Clayton Oliver. Iden sweeps it wide, back to Dempsey. Hurried kick from 40 out. Hangs there a while in the pocket. 2 on 2. Spoil from Bowes. Down there for Jack Martin. Still alive inside that boundary line. It missed Callaghan. Mopped up by Iden. Hot footy here for Taylor. Callaghan. Back they go again now. Laverde. Handball picked off. Cameron intercepted well. Couldn't quite retrieve it though. Bedford does for the Giants. Feeds a hand pass off to Lockie Ash, who goes bounding off half back.
A handball over the top to Cornelio. One more to Gothard. He's got another on for Cadman. Gives it to Cadman now. He's got a man all on his own inside 50. And that is Riley Hamilton who's taken the grab. 45 out straight in front. And he will have a shot in his second game for his first goal in AFL footy.
That was just a perfect example of how you get through that spare, wasn't it? You saw Tom Stewart rush up, couldn't quite get there to close down the space. The handball over the top. It was a 3-on-2 inside the Giants forward 50, and Cadman chose the right target.
Well, this will get the Giants going if Riley Hamilton can slot this one. The Academy product in just his second game. 45 out, straight in front, right foot drop punt. Just fades across the face. And the opportunity goes begging for the young man. Through for a behind. The Giants 2-2-14. Geelong 4-1-25, 22 minutes gone in the first term.
As the Cats go beyond offensive 50. Out to the members' side. A towering spoil from Connor Iden. Is there any more pressure on the potential first goal? Like, are you thinking about the celebration maybe? I don't know. Is there any more pressure on that first goal?
Yeah, you're probably thinking about it a little bit, but I can tell you when he does kick his first goal, watch every orange jumper get around him. He's a very lovable kid, Riley Hamilton. 2 of his sisters play for the red and white team.
Yes, I did see Cynthia wearing a Giants scarf last week, which caught the eye of some of the Swans fans. Hot footy here. Angwin off to Callaghan for the Giants, and now Toby Green keeps it alive. Angwin was run down by Atkins. We'll throw it back in. But yeah, Riley Hamilton, of course, the Canberra lad who debuted there last week against Fremantle. The Cats lead here in Sydney by 11 points, 23 gone in the opening term.
Jake Stringer without a touch in the first term after kicking 7 last week. Sam de Koning matched up alongside him for the moment. Here's Manor. Caught well by Angwin. We've got the hands free. Back to Holmes. He managed to spin out of a tackle as well. Beautiful handball to Mullen. And now Bailey Smith running off him. Kicks to half forward. Grab taken by Bowes. Couple of kicks out from goal. Has a man all on his own, though, inside 50 in Tom Atkins. That was too easy, considering where Bowes was up against the boundary line. Atkins did well to run hard into space. Now hands it off to Jeremy Cameron against his own side. The man from centre half back playing behind the play has shanked it out of bounds on the full after kicking so many on this ground, of course, over the years. Jeremy Cameron, a 9-time leading goal kicker for GWS. He's missed everything on that occasion. Cats still lead by 11.
He kicked it like a defender.
The Giants thump it clear through Xavier O'Halloran. 26th birthday today for Xavier O'Halloran, one of their 3 inclusions back in the side, as it's put back inside 50 by Martin and now picked off by Lockie Ash. For the Giants, they trail by 11 points here. 24 gone to the opening quarter. Ash almost run down. Great chase it was out there on that far side of the ground. Iden shrugs away one would-be tackler. Little 1-2 hand pass with Clayton Oliver. It's flared wide by foot to Anglin. And they'll get some dash going here from this member's side as Harrison Oliver got the high tackle. Umpire's going to call them back here for a free kick going the way of the Giants. It's not going to go Oliver's way, though. It'll go the way of Teddy Bedford. It was dealt with by Stewart. So Bedford short to find Harry Oliver. Just forward of halfway here for GWS. Cats by 11 at the 25-minute mark of the game. Harrison Oliver inside 50, intercepted again by Tom Stewart.
Poor kicks. Just pick Stewart out. Speaking of poor kicks, it's not much better from Lawson Humphreys. Out of bounds on the full on the wing. With a free kick to be taken again by Harry Oliver. So plenty of it on this side of the ground. Goes short to Ash. Possession number 7 coming up for the Giants, number 7 in Lockie Ash. That's a brilliant kick. Just goes across the ground to open things up.
Sam Taylor, what's he doing up there?
There's a mark by Taylor. You can go up there because every single Geelong player, as we can see, is behind the ball now. Set up nicely, just trying to protect this lead as we get close to quarter time. Gathered by Holmes in defensive 50. Gets it over to Dempsey. Now Cameron. And the Cats get another one on the counter. They've got it on the wing through Jack Henry.
And he just thumps it long inside 50. Wants the target. Neil has 2 to beat. Pulls it down. No mark was paid, though. They pile in from all angles. And the umpire says, give it to me for a ball up.
Just the pace of the game has just slowed down a little bit the last couple of minutes. Both sides making some skill errors, but it's been an entertaining first quarter.
On ABC Sport, the voice of Alicia Eva. Cats by 11 points. Clearing kick here from Connor Iden. Bounces toward the boundary line at left half back for GWS. Bowes in the contest with Angwin. Now Holmes rides that boundary and did not keep the ball alive. So it will be thrown back in.
Not happy about it, Max Holmes.
No, but it looked a metre out.
It did.
We had the best angle from up here, didn't we? 4-1 plays 2-2. 27 gone in the opening term. Back in it comes. Briggs and Blitzarves in the contest. Bedford had a path clear for him. Picked off by Mullen. Hand pass off to Atkins. Snaps towards full forward. Himmelberg spills it in the path of Fonte. They're away here. The Giants throw O'Halloran.
O'Halloran has a 3rd bounce. Moving up to the wing now. Bounce number 4. Have a 5th. Brilliant run, Xavier O'Halloran. A 6th bounce. Fantastic effort. Moves them up to half forward now. Brown can't take the mark inside 50. Strong tackle by Gothard to lock it in there. And Rouster's handball goes astray. And the Cats can relieve some pressure through Bruin. Out to Bowes. Now the mark is taken by Neil. Great run O'Halloran, who plays game 100 next week if he stays in the team against Essendon. 6 bounces up to the wing.
You can take 10 bounces. If you don't have the right kick, the right entry, it all comes to nothing.
Oh.
Neil, speaking of bad kicks, turns it over here. Thomas goes back in now. Ralston, Oliver, now Gothard, wide by hand to Toby Green from 55. Unguarded square, the skipper, not quite. Stewart gets back there facing the goals and takes the mark. And we'll chip it across now for Connor O'Sullivan. So it's been sort of end-to-end stuff, but no finishing of late for either side. Cats with 4 goals, Giants with 2. 11 points is the visitors' lead as we approach the 28-minute mark here at the Sydney Showground. And again, on that far side of the ground, Guthrie gets involved. Kick down the line to find Jack Martin, who's quietly racked up nearly 180 games across 3 clubs. Another short kick, Mullen. In the chain now, Dempsey marks. He's 60 from goal. 2 goals in the game so far for him. He does turn and go whack towards the goal square. Neil, it skids through here for Dempsey. I don't believe it.
Free kick, I think.
Free kick is being paid. So it will come back here the way of Sam Taylor. That's why it's so unbelievable. It's at fullback with the Giants, who trail by 11 points here. The Cats by that same margin, 28.5 minutes gone in the opening term.
Possession number 10 for Sam Taylor in this first term to go with 4 marks. Let's kick out to the right half back for the Giants. Gathered by O'Halloran, spun in the tackle and turned over now. Gathered by Smith, snaps it deep into attack. It'll bounce just inside the boundary line, and that'll suit Geelong. It'll roll over for a throw-in next to the behind post. Cats lead by 11. with 29 minutes gone in this first term.
He's had 10 touches, Sam Taylor, because Geelong's had 21 inside 50s.
Yeah. It's been an excellent showing so far by the visiting team as Neil palms this down. Gathered by Manor, looking to add a third goal to his name in this first term off hands, and then eventually taken over for a rush behind by Ryan Angwin. So the Cats lead by a clean 2 goals, just under a minute to go until quarter time.
Yeah, 21 inside 50s to 9. The ball just living in the Geelong forward half for most of this quarter.
Certainly was in the first 5 minutes. The Giants didn't go forward of halfway. Himmelberg on the kick out. Kick was too deep down there for Green in the contest with Bruin. Kept alive by Geelong, and now Bowes slung to ground by Angwin. Loose ball picked up by Holmes. Sends them back inside forward 50. Spoil there from Fonte on a couple of those attacking options for the Cats. So it's going to be thrown back in deep in attack for Geelong at the Olympic Stadium end. There's a game on today. Canterbury plays Canberra, I think you'll find. 12 points is the Geelong lead here at the half-hour mark.
Chance for the Cats to add another one late inside this first term. Bouncing ball inside 50. Mullen, he's gathered by the man he's trying to tag in Finn Callaghan. He'll have another ball up in the right forward pocket. He's done a good job of it so far, Mullen. Callaghan with the 6 disposals, but only the 1 kick. So he's struggling to influence the game. The Giants flyer. As Shannon Neal leaves the field due to the blood rule. Blood spilling out of the top of his nose.
Yeah, only the 13 metres gain for Finn Callaghan too, which is very, very, very low for him.
The obvious tag every time you play the Giants, isn't it? So you would have seen it coming.
On comes Jack Henry as Neal makes his way off. So he'll get patched up. Yeah, Geelong big man. The visitors control things so far with that 12-point lead. Dangerfield's coming off as well. Also due to the blood rule.
Also from the exact same spot, to the top of his nose.
So there'll be a stoppage inside 50 as we see Ollie Wiltshire re-enter the game. Time for one more here for the Cats, perhaps. Deep in attack. Umpire blows time back on. It's Jack Henry and Briggs. Going to Oliver. It's Clayton Oliver. Just tumbles a kick away beyond offensive 50. It'll be last touch here, Geelong, with still some seconds left in this opening quarter. Connor O'Sullivan. But every game this year and last. Long to the hot spot. Oh, huge pack grab. What a fly from Dempsey. Wow.
He's causing all sorts of headaches. He's a winger that's just got license to roll forward and just do what he does best, which is just freakish things.
Came from 4 deep in the pack. He's kicked 2 goals in this first term so far. Here he is lining up for a third. That was absolutely superb. Reaching from the back of about 3 Giants players. Ollie Dempsey takes a Mark of the Year contender at full forward.
What a quarter he's had.
2 goals last week. Had 22 disposals. A great opening term here for his 3rd goal. He just nurses it through. 3 goals for Dempsey. And the Cats extend their lead after the quarter-time siren here at the Sydney Showgrounds. So 5-2-32 for the Giants, who are 2-2-14 with those 3 goals to Ollie Dempsey and 2 for Sean Manor. While for the Giants, their goal kickers so far, 1 to Aaron Cadman and 1 to Callum Brown here at the Showground. Repeating earlier, St Kilda beat Port Adelaide 13-9-87 to 10-13-73, but an injury toll certainly for Port as well as the result. So Butters suspected syndesmosis. Of course, the question is whether he's played his last game in a Port Adelaide jumper. Mitch Georgiades concussion, Lockie Jones rib injury, plus Jack Lukosius also finished on the bench as well. They had 1 fit rotation for most of that final term at Docklands, and the Saints hanging on to win there by 14 points to improve improved their position now to 8 wins, 9 losses in 10th spot on the live ladder. And that's about where these teams are. The Cats with 9 wins before today, and the Giants with 7 wins, having saluted last week in Canberra against Fremantle, and the 9 losses for Adam Kingsley's men. Here it's the Cats by 18 points at the opening change across ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Listen. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
The crowd ready to witness some history.
The Wallaby Gold is back.
He's got 50 to run. Max Jorgensen is going to score for Australia.
ABC Sport is your home of the Wallabies this month.
And Australia wins the Test match.
Tune in for every home test on ABC Listen. Just look for the ABC Sport Extra vote.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Henry follows the hand pass forward here. Wiltshire run down. Shares it with Dempsey from the pocket. Walks around Ash. He'll snap Ollie Dempsey from 40 out. Rides it all the way home. So at last the Cats break through weight and possession. Ball inside 50 through Atkins on his Dangerfield lead. And he does take the mark and is paid the mark. 30 out on a angle in the left forward pocket. Lays off the hand pass here, and Manor bursting by, receives it and snaps from the same part of the ground as the previous goal, where Dempsey kicked the first.
Here goes Angwin, tucks it under his arm, sends the Giants deep inside 50, and the mark is taken by Cal Brown. Now that's the settling play for GWS. Brown runs around and kicks true. Giants on the board, and the Bruins there. O'Sullivan's got some trouble, and he's caught hold of the football. Tried to burst through the pack. Aaron Cadman said, "You're not going past me." To draw the Giants level. Straight through the middle. Caps off his brilliant defensive work inside 50, Aaron Cadman. Good mark, Shannon Neal. Just outside 50, 45-degree angle to the right. Decides to poke it into the pocket for the lead of a teammate there in Ollie Dempsey. And he's taken the mark. He's on the non-preferred side for a right footer, so he'll have to try banana this one. Doesn't need to open up the angle too much. Goes with a drop punt and slots it. Well, that's backing yourself.
O'Shea Mullen. Now the hand pass comes wide. Dudley Smith off the Dempsey. Hurried kick. Trickles towards that central area. Iden run down. Manor picks up here. He snaps to the left and the bung-gutted square. That's superb finishing from Short Manor. And a couple of goals for him as well.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
Geelong controlling things here in a very important game for both of these sides. The Cats are 5-2-32. Greater Western Sydney, the Giants at 2-2-14. Quarter time here at the Sydney Showground. Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb, and your experts on ABC Sport are Joel Patfull and Alicia Eber.
Well, the Cats dominated early and they dominated late, didn't they? The Giants got back in the game through the middle part of that quarter through some good ball movement when they started to switch the ball, change the angle on that loose down back and use their hands to draw him up as well. So they were able to get some good inside 50s. Just bombed away a little bit when they had that momentum and just couldn't find their target inside 50. But for the Cats, 23 inside 50s, just overwhelming that Giants defence in the end. And the whole field defence of the Giants, they really just couldn't stop them any further up the field and just kept allowing inside 50 after inside 50, and eventually it just got too much. Ollie Dempsey popping up, kicking 3 goals, who was dangerous as well. So the other thing I wanted to chat about was Jeremy Cameron down back, what our thoughts were on that. And I think from my point of view, they've got him into the game, but they've got to put him back up forward. He's not going to spend, I wouldn't have thought you'd want him spending the whole game up there as your key forward. So it would be interesting to see how that goes for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think Jack Henry started the game forward to allow Jeremy Cameron to start half back, and he's up and about. He's had a few score involvements. He's had quite a few inside 50s. How many inside 50s? 2 inside 50s and a score involvement. But yeah, Jeremy Cameron kicks goals, doesn't he? Ollie Dempsey. So he was doing so much damage up forward, I thought he was playing forward, but he's on the wing. So he has license to get forward, push hard forward and get involved. He's looking really, really dangerous in the air and ground level. And the matchup he has at the moment is Xavier O'Halloran. And we saw O'Halloran take 6 running bounces down the wing opposite the broadcast side, and that is because his matchup, Dempsey, had pushed so far forward. So if Dempsey's not getting the ball, then the Giants can switch the ball outside to the winger, and that's why O'Halloran had so much space. But I think the first things first, they probably got to clamp down on Dempsey. But yeah, as you mentioned, Joel, Geelong just owned the ball just lived in their forward half for the first almost 10 minutes of that quarter. So that's where centre bounce becomes really critical from a Giants perspective. Territory early, get the ball inside their forward 50 when Geelong don't have time to set up with that +1 behind the ball, and that's where scoring opportunities open up.
Adam Kingsley late to get off the ground, having a last word with his defensive group.
Your text welcome, by the way, 0437 774 774 right across this Saturday of footy on ABC Sport. Carlton v Hawthorn at the MCG coming up, as is Adelaide versus Gold Coast at Adelaide Oval, of course. Both Saturday games available via ABC Listen. Cats by 18 points here at the Sydney Showground. Second quarter underway. Clayton Oliver, hand pass off to Briggs. It was smothered down there by Holmes. Run down again by Oliver, who can kick inside 50 and intercepting at centre-half back, Jeremy Cameron. There he is again. Short ball by foot to Holmes. Lays it off back to the, former spearhead Jeremy Cameron. Goes down towards half forward. Taylor this time comes across the Giants. Intercept his own ball here at right half back.
Well, there's a true key defender in Sam Taylor. Jeremy Cameron's having an influence. Whether it's throwing the Giants or not is up for discussion, but it's certainly helping the Cats at the moment. It's moving him around after that quiet game last week. There was word that they were going to do something different with him, Geelong. He's working a treat. 9 disposals, 323 metres gained. As Lockie Ash sends the Giants up to half forward. Cats up by 18 points. Angwin tries to gather the football. Well tackled down there by Blitzavs. And we'll have a ball up just forward of the wing for GWS.
Giants fans not happy because I think Ryan Angwin was in a headlock then.
Briggs palms it down. Atkins in the clinches. Sends it forward. That'll be a last touch free kick going the way of GWS. Atkins opposed to Oliver. That's an interesting matchup. Two of the toughest players in the AFL.
Lockie Ash, who's had more midfield time to make disposals against Fremantle last week. A high kick inside 50. In from the side, Callum Brown. Ricochets down towards Callahan. Gothard off to Canelio. Left foot snap from the veteran. Spoiled away now by Stewart in the contest with Green. Through the legs down there of Jeremy Cameron. Gothard tries again. He was pinned in a tackle, didn't have it. Umpire says play on. Mopped up here by Mitch Nevitt. Now it comes out here to Jack Martin. Speaking of veterans, from that members side logo, kicks inside 50 for the Cats. Only player back there is Himmelberg. He fields it on the bounce and now goes for a bit of a trot and kicks to find Taylor at right half back for the Giants. Cats lead by 18 points. Hand pass off to Ash. Handball to Iden, the vice-captain, to a former captain in Stephen Canelio. Kicks right across the middle of the ground, and Thomas got in the way of his teammate Joe Fonte. Bounced out towards Wiltshire. Geelong keep going here from that outer wing. Up inside 50. Dangerfield had it sport away from him by Himmelberg for a throw-in at right half forward for Geelong.
The build-up seemed all right then from the Giants' perspective in terms of trying to take the ball out to the open side where they had some space, but Harvey Thomas and Joe Fonte just both wanting the ball, not communicating.
Hear the wince there, not just from your Alicia, but from the Giants fans here.
Well, Spriggy's right. Thomas did get in the way of Fonte. That's who the kick was directed for. Thomas coming back the other way confused the situation. Here's Dangerfield back on the ground. Got it to Blitzavs. Bouncing ball in the right forward pocket for Geelong. Well done by Laverde. Won the tussle with Henry, but gave it back to Bailey Smith. His kick smothered. And over the boundary line, we'll have a throw in right forward pocket for the Cats, who lead by 18 points.
He's given plenty of space then, Bailey Smith. Toby Bedford on him at the moment. He's probably annoyed that was smothered because he had plenty of room to gather that ground ball inside his forward 50.
Shannon Neal doing the ruck work in attacking 50, opposed to Briggs. Briggs palms it down to Taylor, had plenty of it. And West turned it over with the handball to Mullen. Callahan is able to gather it, give it back to Taylor. Possession number 13 for the fullback. But it's marked there by Dempsey, who is probably been the best on ground at the moment with 3 goals in that first term.
And a great mark to boot late in that opening quarter. High inside 50. Nevitt, speaking of good marks, goes up, couldn't bring it down. Hand pass off in space, now overrun by Martin. Angwin troubled though by Wiltshire. Came to Fonte. No, it wasn't. Tackler is rewarded, holding the ball. So Wiltshire will have it top of the goal square for the Cats to add more punishment here to the Giants.
Joel, as a defender, it just looks like at the moment when the Cats go inside forward 50, there is a forward that is just getting too easy to run and jump and launch at the ball. I'll let you guys call this.
Kicked 1 goal 3 against the Lions last week. Wiltshire pops this through from point-blank range. And just his 11th career game since being drafted in 2023. He makes it now 6 majors in this game for Geelong. 6-2-38, a new game-high lead of 24. The Giants are 2-2-14, early stages second term.
Yeah, you're right, Alicia. They're definitely getting a good look at it, aren't they? It's almost if the Giants defenders are a little bit reactive, not doing their work early. You want to try and get that body on and not let them take those 3 or 4 steps and jump into the pack. There's probably 3 or 4 we've seen now where they've really launched at the footy, and it creates that soft drop as well, especially in the goal square, which then creates a little bit of chaos, as we saw then. Angren trying to break the tackle and create something, but couldn't quite get the ball away. But good forward pressure from the Geelong forwards. It's those repeat inside 50 as well. It just builds that pressure, and then finally something breaks down.
Inside 50s, 26-11 in favour of Geelong for a 24-point lead. 5 minutes gone in the second term, and Ollie Wiltshire, 9 goals from 9 games so far this season. Well done by Toby Green. Found some space at centre-half forward. Got it to Bedford. The Giants need the next badly. That might have evaded Connor O'Sullivan. I think it has. And bounced through. Well, it was scrappy in the end, but crucial for the Giants. And Connor O'Sullivan will be thinking, I should have done a lot better there. Had the chance to get hands on the football, and it just bounced underneath him and through for a major to Toby Bedford. The margin back to 18 in favour of the Cats.
Well, I think all of the good work there was done by Toby Green, slipping the tackle of Jeremy Cameron. He almost just lowered himself and slipped out the back. So Kieran Briggs jumps up and gets the clearance from centre bounce. Really, really important. We've spoken about that. But it's the slipped tackle by Toby Green, who then shoots the handball out to Toby Bedford, who's followed up from centre bounce, and a really nice finish there. But I reckon maybe that slip tackle will be spoken about on the podcast this week.
There was a couple efforts there that weren't quite up to scratch, were there? You talk about pathetic up forward. Don't know if you can do that as a key back.
Long by 18. Clearance goes away to the Giants. Clayton Oliver, high kick inside 50. Too deep down there for Callum Brown. Reaching from the back in defence, Guthrie. Toby Green, hand pass out there. O'Sullivan gets there this time for the Cats. And shares it now with Connor Bruin, who's ragdolled toward the boundary line by Callum Brown. So a throw in now inside 50 for the Giants, who have some momentum now in this early stage of the second quarter.
He's looking evasive, Toby Green.
He's playing really well. 18 goals in his last 6 games. So he's bang in form despite all the conjecture around his future. Here's Toby Bedford for 2 in a minute. This time O'Sullivan gets hands to it and punches it through for a rush behind. Yeah, 11 disposals, 4 inside 50s, a couple of score involvements of the Giants skipper playing some really good football.
Got match review stuff coming through, by the way, so some big news potentially here around Jack Crisp. Stay tuned in the next few seconds. Holmes goes from half back towards half forward, cut off there by Laverde. Jack Crisp with no case to answer for his incident with Tom Blamires during the first quarter of last night's match at Docklands. Blamires receives a handball from a teammate and is tackled by the side. Goes inside 50 here, by the way, the Giants. Stringer reaching for it now. Won't stick out the boot. Gets the hand pass back to Cadman. He's wrapped up down there again by Zach Guthrie. My point is, so no issue there for Jack Crisp, only Tom Blamires tackle. Billy Frampton one match for his tackle on Whitlock. So that is the MRO news coming through. Meanwhile, the Giants from their stoppage inside 50. Ilio wastes an opportunity to the near side. It's 6-2-38. The Giants are 3-3-20, back at 3-4-22. And Jack Crisp can keep his streak going across 280 games now next week.
As he should be, but it's hard to tell these days, isn't it, which way it's going to go with some of those tackling and the call they're making. There's been far less. It's got a couple of weeks this year.
Cats by 16 points. Bailey Smith dropped the mark. He probably should have taken it half back. That allowed for the turnover. Clayton Oliver sends the Giants back inside 50, gathered by Bedford, who's been really busy of late. And that time, Jeremy Cameron sticks the tackle and locks him up just inside 50 at left half forward.
So finishing off that point, it was the view of the MRO that Crisp does not use excessive force in executing a tackle, and that Blamires had both arms free for him to attempt to brace for impact with the ground. So there you go.
It's a ball up. A few of the players that run away thinking it might have been a boundary throw in. It won't be. So there's no real ruckman there actually to attack the contest, because they ran away thinking it was a boundary throw in. And in the end, Bailey Smith wins the free kick in the right back pocket. Bit of confusion there amongst the teams. And Smith will go short laterally to O'Sullivan. Switches play. Guthrie's there. Did well to watch that and juggle the mark. Plays on quickly. And here's Nevitt. The late inclusion for O'Connor. Marking on the wing. Handball over the top now. Looking for Kolajasny. Well read by young Riley Hamilton. Punched over the boundary line. Cats lead by 16 points. 9 minutes gone in the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Insufficient intent, they're saying. So he's punched the ball.
Crowds realise that as well. Holmes gathers, goes inside 50 here for Geelong. Big 3-on-2. Up in front, Sam Taylor bursting through Bowes for the Cats. Handball picked up by Himmelberg. The Giants can rebound from full-back. It just trickles beyond defensive 50. Sits up on its point for Cornelio. Looks to evade Tanner Bruin. Of course, former teammates for a couple of years. Cornelio tracks it back inside D50 for Connor Iden. Didn't go 15, so play on, says the umpire. And he'll switch it across here, members side for Sam Taylor. Geelong by 16 points here, 11 going second term. Strong contested grab taken by Riley Hamilton. One of 2 debutants last week for GWS. Short kick infield to find Himmelberg. Is there who's standing? Who's the Wiltshire's there and also Neil. I think the crowd, one of these guys is not standing. So it goes down towards half forward. And the score from O'Sullivan out of bounds for a throw-in. And is that one going to be insufficient at 10? The crowd's asking.
Well, I mean, Riley Hamilton, what other option did he have? He was literally punching the ball out of the opposition hands.
That was a legitimate spoil for mine.
Yeah.
Not sure how that was insufficient intent. He took a good grab just after that, Riley Hamilton. It's a bit about him. Cats lead by 16. Boundary throwing outside, attacking 50, though, for GWS, who are trying to work their way back into this game. Strong tackle, Toby Green on Jack Martin. Martin did well to get the arms free, though, and the handball away. The Giants lock it in. Briggs was looking for Harry Oliver. Well done by Bruin, though. Was that a clean possession? The Giants fans think not. Bruins turned it over anyway, though. Marked by Thomas inside the centre square. Long ball into attack. O'Sullivan's there, punches it away. Didn't get clean contact, though. Holmes has work to do. Has turned it over to Stringer. Stringer, 40 out, tight angle. Will have a shot on goal. It's across the face. But the Giants have woken up now. Cats lead back to 15 points, but GWS doing all the attacking, Joel Patfull.
They are, and they've upped that pressure around the footy, haven't they? They're able to turn the ball over there in their forward half rather than turning it over in their defensive 50, which gives them a repeat inside 50.
A kick out for Jeremy Cameron. He's used to having the ball in that part of the ground, just not the defensive end. So he was at full-back that time. Bradley Smith from left half-back for Geelong. Big pack forms here. Knocked away down there by Laverde, and it's over for a throw-in.
Don't know about this, Riggy. Jeremy Cameron.
Playing centre half-back, then full-back, taking kick-outs.
No. Talk about pathetic. Pathetic's putting the key forward as a spare defender when he's up against it. Put him up forward.
I think win or lose or draw, there'll be plenty of questions for Chris Scott post-game around that particular move. Here's Briggs off here. Now it's worked away by Jack Au. Picked off by Bowes. Room to bounce at left half forward. Closing inside 50. And Iden makes a contest down there on Ollie Henry. Kept alive by the defender. Now Taylor just hurries his kick beyond defensive 50. 2-on-2. Knocked down by Jack Henry this time. Not far away from you on the boundary, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, that's correct. And some of the Giants fans surrounding me down here now have no idea what a spoil versus insufficient intent actually is.
I was going to say we had one paid and then, of course, one not paid, which I think neither should have been anyway. Geelong by 15 points here. The Rucks wrestle to Koning and Briggs. Gothard, speaking of wrestle, wrapped up down there by Mitch Nevitt. Ball jars free here for Bradley Smith. Neat little kick inside 50. Didn't go 15 metres. Picked off, though, by Taylor anyway. Callahan, standing start. Little 1-2 here with Iden. And the flying fin goes beyond defensive 50.
Up to the wing. Cornelio's there. Worked his body. Worked Bruin underneath it with his body, but it's been paid as a push in the back. That seemed to be pretty smart in terms of his body usage by Stephen Cornelio. The umpire thought differently. But Bruin will take the free kick on the wing. Cats by 15 points. The former Giant sends Geelong back into attack. Punched away from the contest by Himmelberg. We'll have
that was
a boundary throw in.
Well, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they make it harder and harder for themselves with some of these decisions.
35 out from the Cats' goals. So Jeremy Cameron did say last week Darcy Gardner did a great job on him. Connor Iden is the usual matchup for Jezza and has done pretty well on him in recent times as well. So maybe they thought they'd mix things up, Geelong, and they do lead by 15 points.
Back in it comes, and the Rucks again slap it out of bounds for a throw-in.
Just hide him at the other end of the ground.
The inside 50 count this quarter is going the way. Oh, hang on, I'll get my stats right. Going the way of the Giants. So we've mentioned it in the first quarter. Geelong were owning it. Well, now the Cats have just drawn level so far this quarter, but it's been all Giants early on.
Visitors by 15 points overall, and comes down here for Hamilton. Just tumbles it beyond defensive 50. Spilled by Toby Green. Bursting by Harvey Thomas. Gets onto it now. Kick on the half volley. It was awkward there for Cadman. Front on contact comes from De Koning. Humphreys mops up now for Geelong. Shares it with Mullen. Back to De Koning. Humphreys still running. Goes inside forward 50, and it might skid into the goal square a little wide and out of bounds. And no further score here. Geelong 6-2-38. Greater Western Sydney a 3-5-23 at the halfway stage or thereabouts of this second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Alicia Eva, Joel Patfull, Phil Pryor. Here's Dan Garb.
The Cats are up by 15 points. Shannon Neal palms it down and then does his own roving. Tries to slap it towards a teammate. And they're in the left forward pocket, the Cats. Gathered by Atkins. Works it back to Jack Henry. His snap misses near side through for a behind. Cats up by 16 now, 6-4-40. In fact, 6-3-39. GWS 3-5-23. 15 and a half gone in the second term.
Reaction from the MRO. We're getting fans claiming Collingwood discount, of course, on the Jack Crisp adjudication on Tom Myers. If you just missed it, no case to answer for the AFL's consecutive games record holder. So free to play in game. I think it's 280 next week, Jack Crisp, after being cleared for his tackle on North's Tom Myers last night. Billy Frampton, though, with a 1 week suspension offered for his incident with Whitlock. Goes out of bounds here for a throw-in, by the way, at the Sydney Showground, where Geelong leads the Giants by 16 points. Jan says, that's the case for the two Pies players. Why did Curtis get 3 weeks? North always gets the short end of the stick. Thank you, Jan. Your text throughout the day and night, 0437 774 774.
Fair complaint. And the Giants fans with the Bronx cheer because Cal Brown has won a free kick just backward of the wing in that ruck contest. Don't feel as if it's going their way. The GWS faithful. Stewart comes out to meet it at centre half back. Did well to impact the contest. Kolajasny gathers and gives it to Bailey Smith. He drives it up to half forward. Himmelberg there competing with Wiltshire. Did well. Harry Himmelberg won the contest. Got it back to Lockie Ash. Harvey Thomas, though, dropped a sitter of a mark. So the Cats can regather. Smith to Manor. Guides are forward, but under pressure. It's picked off by Connor Ryden. And he will go to Sam Taylor, who will now dispose of it for the 18th time in this game. His career high is 21. As Cadman takes the mark at centre half forward. To Sam Taylor, the leading possession getter on the ground. You don't say that very often. And Cadman will have a shot from 55 out directly in front in search of his second for the game.
And they're not all from kick-ins either. No, but that was a really clever kick from Harry Rowson, just pulling it back inside to the corridor where Aaron Cadman was leading up. All Geelong defenders' eyes lit up to the open side of the ground. They started moving that direction and Cadman just straightened them up. Harry Rowson pulls the kick.
Cadman from a long way out on that beautiful left boot just pulls it a touch through for a behind. So the Cats lead by 15 points, but the Giants, after being clearly second best in that first term, just working their way back into this contest nicely.
And they go with Humphreys on the kick out. Deep beyond defensive 50. Blitzarves. Whistle on play for a hold. Will in fact go the way of Mark Blitzarves. Speaking of records, as I mentioned, he becomes the most capped rookie lister in history with game number 309 today. Back inside 50 for Jeremy Cameron, and now the forward turn defender for this game only finds Bailey Smith on the members' side of the Sydney Showground. Bailey Smith with his 11th disposal of the game. High towards half forward. At the back, Fonte there for the Giants. Off to Iden. A run straight to Nevitt. Got away from him, though. Handball picked off by Ollie Henry. Now Dangerfield. Back now to Mullen. Back to Henry. He'll turn away from one tackler. Himmelberg gets it back now to Nevitt, who can snap and miss across the face to the right-hand side. Geelong peppering away. 6-4-40. The Giants is 3-6-24, 19 gone second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Just feels like at the moment the Giants are kind of winning the uncontested ball movement game, but when the balls go into a contest, Geelong seem to be winning those battles, those ground balls, and then chaining out a little bit too easily in this second quarter.
Lockie Ash surveyed his options and eventually went to Fonte in the left back pocket. He moved it up to Hamilton on the wing. Shannon Neal, though, is able to gather for the Cats and snap one towards half forward. Bouncing ball suits Geelong. Wiltshire gathers. Strong tackle, though, by Laverde. Wiltshire had a couple of teammates running past him, and Laverde stuck a really important tackle to wrap him up. We'll have a ball up on the paint of 50, right half forward for Geelong.
You're right, Garby. That was a very important tackle. Dempsey was running goal side. Oh.
Here is Dempsey, though. Got it anyway. Centres it. Looking for Dangerfield. Takes the mark. No, he doesn't. Opposed to Himmelberg. He got free. You don't often see Patrick Dangerfield waste that kind of situation. But after moving Himmelberg off the football, he dropped the chest mark over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in left forward pocket now for the Cats.
Ollie Dempsey just looking really dangerous around those stoppages. He's just running forward to the stoppage. Xavier O'Halloran needs to make sure he's goal side of him.
Geelong by 16. Thoughts of Alicia Eva on ABC Sport. Himmelberg to Iden. Quick disposal to kick beyond defensive 50. The wrestle there with Toby Green and Tom Stewart. Oliver burst by here for the Giants. Run down from behind by Nevitt. Bowes puts the Cats back inside 50. Reaching for it, Neal. Comes down for Dangerfield. Into the back of him goes Harry Oliver. Loose ball here pounced on by Manor, who can snap on the run and not quite pushing it across far enough. It's a minor score for Sean Manor, and the Cats lead here by 17 points. Time on second quarter on ABC Sport. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Geelong player Jack Henry has just been taken down the race, being escorted by one of the medicos, so something to consider there.
Himmelberg out to left half back. Fonte's taken the mark. Cats up by 17. They've lost 4 of their last 5, and their last 4 against the Giants. It's a high-stakes encounter, this one. Big leap by Cadman on the wing. Guides it down, and Holmes is able to gather. Yeah, with Essendon to play next week, GWS after beating Fremantle last week, they can win this one. They can perhaps go on a bit of a run and get back into the wildcard mix at least in the second half or latter part of the season. Nevitt moved it up to Wiltshire. Wiltshire runs around and guides it for Dangerfield, who's all alone in the pocket. There was a block on Himmelberg. He got about 3 metres separation. And Patrick Dangerfield, the legend, will have a shot from about 25-30 out, tight angle to the right.
Well, there's a complete defensive breakdown from the Giants. It was a 3-on-2 in favour of the Cats as they came inside 50, and Dangerfield was the one that took advantage. Free lead up.
The 8-time All-Australian. The banana on the right misses near side. Cats lead by 18 points, 6-6-42. GWS 3-6-24.
Get to your text regarding the Jack Crisp MRO outcome. He's clear, so no issue there for Collingwood's Jack Crisp. 0437 774 774. Any other questions, queries, comments? As this is an awkward situation here as Ollie Henry almost intercepted there for the Cats from the kick out. Ash mops up here defensively for the Giants, and now Bedford thumps it down the corridor. Hamilton from behind on Stewart, not paid the grab. Gathered now by De Koning, kicks out in space in the middle of the ground. Mopped up now by Nevitt. One of several blondies out there for Geelong, goes towards half forward. Iden outnumbered Dempsey in the contest with O'Halloran, mopped up by the latter of those. His handball knocked down in space as well. Now it's out of bounds for a throw-in right half forward for the Cats. The scoreboard end of the Sydney Showground as the day becomes night. It's the twilight fixture. Feels more like night time now as we approach the half-time break. 6-6-42 the Cats. The Giants are 3-6-24.
Briggs and Blitzavs. Cats rotating rucks yet again. Here's Dempsey. He's been brilliant. His snap inside 50 is marked by Laverde. The umpire says that bounce just in front of Laverde. So it won't be a mark, in fact. We'll have a ball up in attack for the Cats. 40 out from their goal. Right half forward. Briggs knocks it down. Laverde gathers it. Needs to get rid of it. The Cats were ready to pounce. Did so to O'Halloran. He may have caught his opponent high there. Umpire says no. That was Nevitt. He didn't quite like the treatment he got. Another ball up just outside attacking 50 for Geelong.
Clayton Oliver burst through here at stoppage. Thumps it to the outer side. Down it comes. Head over at Humphreys. Goffard with him in the contest. Humphreys gets a hand pass away here. Back to Connor O'Sullivan. Back to Tom Stewart. A neat ball to find Atkins. Forward of halfway on the outer side for the Cats, who lead here by 18 points. 24 gone in the second term. Holmes from half forward inside 50. Jack Martin couldn't quite control the grab, and it's watched by Himmelberg bouncing out of bounds for a throw-in. The stoppage inside 50 here for Geelong to control the game thus far.
Well, the Giants have put their spare around the stoppage here, trying to get the ball moving forward, but it doesn't help. Oliver just burst kicked that ball forward, hit the Geelong defender, who was there loose as well, so you're not using your spares.
Late stages of the second term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Free kick going the way of the Cats here, inside 50. Well, the silence around the Sydney Showground tells the story. It's Jack Martin who's won the free kick. He's been pretty quiet so far, but he can have a shot from 40 out, tight angle to the right, to move Geelong back out to a clean 4-goal lead.
Not sure what the free kick was for, but I imagine it was just a hold on the jumper as he was trying to move through stoppage.
Went against Harry Oliver. Jack Martin misses across the face. So Cats lead is 19 points. Finn Callaghan, just the 9 disposals, only 2 kicks and 33 metres gained. Ocean Mullen winning that contest in a big way, the Geelong tagger.
Where's Jeremy Cameron gone? Trying to find him on the ground.
There he is, spare behind the play again.
Yeah. Himmelberg brings it beyond defensive 50 here. Cameron in the contest, takes the mark. There he is. Well, he's close to the half forward this time. Forward of the wing. Geelong go back inside 50, and it's marked in the pocket. It was a pinpoint kick to find the man down there in Ollie Henry. And he'll have it in the left forward pocket, no more than 35 metres out.
That's why he's so dangerous on that forward half, isn't he? His foot skills are elite.
Opens up the angle, Henry, and curves it around superbly. At last, the Cats have one. Well, peppering away. Missed opportunities, but Ollie Henry, with his first goal of the evening, extends Geelong's lead now to a new game-high mark of 25 points. 7-7-49 to the home side, who were 3-6-24. We've played 26.5 minutes in this second quarter on ABC Sport, where your experts are Joel Patfull and Alicia Eva.
So at the start of this quarter, the Giants were owning the inside 50 count. At one point, it was 7-4. Now it's 15, and this is for this quarter alone, 15 inside 50s to 9 going Geelong's way. So in the last 10 minutes, Geelong are just, it's gone back to forward half football for Geelong. Every time the Giants go long to a contest, it's either marked by that spare defender, and on that occasion it was Jeremy Cameron, or the ball is just being won at ground level by Geelong's numbers. They're using the handball chains really well and just finding targets inside forward 50.
That broke a run, by the way, of 9 straight behinds for either side. So it feels like it was a bit of a tough second term. It has been.
Cats by 25 points, and Holmes bounds away from the middle of the ground after the ball up. Martin will gather it just inside 50. Good tackle on him by Himmelberg. And we'll have a ball up close to the paint. Is there a way to get Finn Callaghan into this game? Can they move him somewhere else to half back perhaps? Because at the moment he's getting no free ball.
Well, you can, but I mean there just needs to be a word around the Giants. Just get him involved. Give him a handball receive. Give him a cheap one. He can come around the back. Give him a kick out. Just get him involved in around the footy.
I mean, if he went to half back, if I was coaching against him, I'd send the tag still there and just follow him, because Finn Callaghan from half back, a handball receive option is quite dangerous.
Ocean Mullen doing a brilliant job at the moment. Now Callaghan wants to get to Bailey Smith to perhaps try and shake the tag. That means that Bedford and Mullen are opposed to each other, the two taggers. Here is Bailey Smith. Up to half forward, punched away from the contest by Sam Taylor. Smith gathers it again, just forward of the wing. Cats by 25 points, late stages of the second term, and that's a nice tackle at centre half back by Fonte on Ollie Henry, the last goal of the game. So we'll have a ball up at centre half forward for Geelong.
Cats lead by 25 points. Neil scrapping for it. Clayton Oliver there first with the Giants. Toby Green bursts by, breaks the Smith tackle, and his kick down the line to find Cadman. Wasn't paid in the contest, though. Sullivan wraps him up. The ball does come loose, and now Toby Green's kick smothered. Cadman tries again here on his preferred left. High kick inside 50. Callum Brown's down there with Tom Stewart. Knocked down here for the Giants, and now Bedford up against the boundary line. Run out of bounds by Tom Stewart. Will throw it back in at right full forward for GWS. 29 minutes gone in this second term, so approaching half time. Geelong 7-7 plays the Giants 3-6.
The Giants could do with one before the main break. There's Briggs opposed to Blitzavs. Briggs palmed it down. Stewart got the handball free from the contest. but they haven't cleared the area, the Cats. Angwin to Hamilton. That's a poor kick, ill-directed, but Bedford chops off the releasing handball and can now snap on goal, but has missed a really good opportunity with the chance to kick 2 in the quarter. Toby Bedford. It's across the face and Peripheral behind. Geelong's lead is 24 points. In fact, hit the behind post. It's out of bounds in the full. No score at all. And the Cats will bring it back in from the right back pocket.
They still lead by 25. Dempsey off to Oisin Mullen. They debuted against the Giants in 2023 at New Park. It's long beyond defensive 50. Martin in the contest with Himmelberg, who claims he was blocked. Martin follows up here to Koning. Hand pass back here to Ollie Henry. And now Humphreys from that far side of the ground sends it deep towards half forward. Taylor in the contest with Neal off hands for a throw-in. At 65 around from the Geelong attacking goal. They lead by 25 points at the half-hour mark of their second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Earlier, the Saints beat Port by 14 points at Docklands. Coming up tonight, Carlton v Hawthorn at the MCG. Adelaide v Gold Coast at Adelaide Oval.
Sam de Koning doing the ruck work now. Got 7 different options when it comes to Geelong and those stoppages. Well gathered by Toby Green. Got it back to Harry Oliver on that left boot. Works it up to the wing. Free kick going the way of the Giants. So they've got time here for one last attack before the main break. GWS trailing by 25 points. Smith O'Halloran on the wing. He's turned it over though. This could be devastating for the home side. Well gathered though by Laverde. Got it to Oliver. That's Harry Oliver. Now to Clayton Oliver. Long ball inside 50. Can someone take a mark for the Giants? Hamilton with a big leap off hands. Toby Green's there. Snap towards goal. Will it bounce true for him? Tom Stewart is able to gather. Chooses not to rush the behind. Instead sends it out to right half back. Strong grab taken by Jeremy Cameron. An important mark on the half-time siren. He's been one of the stories of this first half for Geelong. They lead by 25 points. The two-time Coleman medalist has played at centre half-back. He's got 12 disposals and 10 marks, and he's been a big reason why Geelong take a 25-point lead into half-time here at the Sydney Showground.
And that 25-point lead, as Daniel Garb mentioned, 7-7-49 to 3-6-24. Goal kickers, firstly, for the Cats. 3 for Ollie Dempsey and a Mark of the Year contender as well. 2 for Sean Manor and 1 each to Ollie Henry and Ollie Wiltshire, who kicked his in that second term. Meanwhile, for GWS, the goal scorers so far, they had 1 goal 4 in that second term alone. The goal kickers, just the 3 majors so far to Callum Brown, Aaron Cadman and Toby Bedford. So the visitors lead by 25 points here. Very quickly, down to you, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, we're still waiting on an update on Jack Henry, who didn't return when he went down to the rooms to be assessed. And there have been a few players in the wars for Geelong, but we can get into that when there's time after the break.
Thanks, Phil. We'll get to your text shortly, as well as ABC News coming up at half-time. But the thoughts of our experts here, Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a slog towards the middle half. We talked about both sides kicking 9 points consecutively, which dropped a bit of momentum for both. They're both playing that loose in defence, which we talked about a few times, and both teams struggling to work the ball through there. They were bombing it long, and that spare for both teams has been really effective. Sam Taylor's been great for the Giants, and Tom Stewart up the other end, and Jeremy Cameron that we've talked about, both being that spare for the Cats. But it was probably the Cats that moved the ball a bit cleaner, hit some targets inside 50 towards the end of that quarter and converted. Needed something special from Ollie Henry from the pocket that kind of got them going again. And it's probably what the Giants are lacking, is that polish inside 50 and that ability to finish once they get it inside 50, whether that's a mark or, a quick snap or someone who can finish. Probably Jake Stringer, the one that's missing down there, and even Cadman. I want to see him flying at the ball a little bit more and providing a contest. So a few things to work on from both teams, but still definitely a close game here. Only a couple of goals in it.
Yeah, I think Geelong have had 19 more inside 50s. So that's a pretty big number up until half-time, and that's why Sam Taylor is the second leading possession getter on the ground from a Giants perspective with 18. Clayton Oliver, of course, leading the way for the Giants with 21. It just looks like the eye test watching live looks like both sides are winning contested possession-wise. Giants a +3 contested possession. Ground level, it's looking like when Geelong win it, their handball chains are more effective than what the Giants are at the moment. So at a contest, the ball goes long to a contest. The ball is either marked by Geelong and then sent straight back in, or it's come down to ground level. When Geelong are winning it, their one handball is turning into 2 to 3 handballs, effective handballs, whereas and therefore leading to scoring opportunities. Now, not so much goals. We saw a lot of behinds that quarter, but it just seems like Geelong are getting really good representation at fall of ball and then able to kind of move the ball by hand more efficiently than what the Giants are at this point in time. From a Geelong perspective, Bailey Smith has had the 17 with 371 metres gained, 8 contested possessions. Max Holmes has been busy. From a Giants midfield, Oliver's been really busy. Finn Callahan, we've spoken about the quality of player he's been really well held by O'Shea Mullen.
So I must admit, when you pointed out to me at the start of the game, Joel, I thought it could be a bit of a gimmick. This, Jeremy Cameron going to centre half back. He spent the entire half. The reigning Common medalist has spent the entire half in defence. So I guess we assume it continues for the second half.
Well, you'd think so. I mean, I talked about it during that quarter, and I don't mind it as a gimmick, like you said. Get him involved in the game early, get a couple of touches, get him back in the game. But, I mean, for him to stay there for the whole half, I think it's a bit of a almost desperate act from Geelong, and a little bit embarrassing. I think for him to spend that much, and to be the loose as well. I think if he's playing key position and having a matchup down there, I don't mind. But he's playing as the spare defender, as a Common medalist, All-Australian player, to go behind the footy. I don't see the sense in him staying there for the game.
I mean, to play devil's advocate to your point, Joel, the last few games you would argue Connor Iden has done a really good job on Jeremy Cameron.
Yep.
So do you throw a different look? And we saw his kick inside forward 50 to Ollie Henry. Joel, you mentioned when he's in the forward half how dangerous it is. So does he continue to play back? Does he come up onto a wing? Does he go forward? I mean, he's a magnet that you can move and he will impact around the ground. But I think it certainly would have thrown the Giants' defensive unit in terms of matchups and what they were expecting. It's definitely been a different look, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you got to back your stars in, and he's such a good player that I would back him in to beat Connor Iden. Like, he might have got beaten once or twice, but he's too good, and I think it shows that the Cats are genuinely concerned about where his form's at and whether he can compete with the Giants defenders, so they're looking at another look, which is a concern going forward for the rest of the season.
It wasn't a high-quality quarter, that one. It was, 2 goals 5 to 1 goal 4. So just a total of, 3 goals in it, where the Cats extended their lead to 25 points at the major break.
They've lost 4 of their last 5. Perhaps they felt a little bit stale. He's the man you can throw around, and maybe it's just freshened the whole field up for them a little bit, Geelong.
And it'll be interesting. I mean, if the Giants pull back 4 quick goals, does he then swing back forward?
Yep.
So I think he does.
On our way to ABC News, 0437 774 774. Oh, and the one-eyed cat says, Bailey Smith showing signs that after being out, that he is back up to the pace of the game and about to create big problems for GWS. Thank you, Owen, from Bruce Rock in WA. As I said, 17 touches. He does have the most disposals for them. It hasn't felt like he's imposed himself too much on the contest necessarily, but I'm sure there'll be still a half a footy to go here at the showground as well. That's still a lot of disposals and a half of footy. This hasn't felt like he's had the same sort of presence, I suppose, around the contest. Enjoying the call in Queanbeyan, says Anthony. Joel, 2 years at the Giants. How was that? Wasn't it 3 years you had at the Giants?
2 years. I played 2 years at the Giants.
2 years, okay.
2 years. It was good fun. Played some good footy, actually. Last game there was a prelim final, so
fell in love with Sydney, and here you still are.
Exactly. Great for the experience.
Jan, if that's the case, I mentioned Jan's text regarding the MRO outcome. Paul says, again, I'm not going to say anything too in detail without sort of trying, I don't want to defame people here. I am liable for your text. Paul doesn't like the whole, outcome here. Suggesting there's a Collingwood conspiracy. Jacko in Burswood says it's the right decision with Crisp. Andrew says, what was Frampton supposed to do? He gets 1 week, by the way. Just gift the lad a goal. Does that mean no defender can tackle from behind without risking suspension? Poor decision. He goes on to say that should the AFL copy tag touch footy and move to Velcro tags on the shorts, if a defender grabs the tag, it's a handover. Why not? Is there anything absolutely awesomely beautiful as corridor football, says our corridor football lover who texts in every game. Ask Alicia about her great goal in the practice match today. I missed this.
Who
the
was
game,
that?
The game. I don't know. I can give you the number later on.
Come on, Anonymous.
Yeah, good sausage or what?
Oh, yeah, it was a decent snap on the
Love
run
it.
over the boundary, celebrated to the crowd that wasn't there.
And you had a depleted side. You lost by a kick to the mighty Brisbane Lions. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad effort in the pre-season.
Good hit out.
The AFLW Giants. MRO and Curtis v. Crisp tackle. West Coast supporter here, so I'd never been one to poo-poo the old Collingwood discount. Definitely valid. However, Curtis has been done for these dangerous tackles a fair few times now, even without the controversial one last year. Most other players seem to have been able to change the ways they're tackling overall, but not Curtis. If we want to stop seeing players medically retired or taken out for a season for concussion, we need to stop with the poor North Melbourne blah, blah, whatever. Stop giving people an out. And then Curtis is not doing the right thing. Not that he and or North Melbourne are involved in multiple, coincidentally controversial bad MRO calls. Thank you for that. And Donnie in Spearwood says, again, it's more Collingwood conspiracy regarding the MRO. Thank you very much. Libby driving from Lightning Ridge to the Glasshouse Mountains and enjoyed the afternoon of footy as the reception has worked. It's working fine now, thanks so much. And Fran says, thanks for the call and special comments. Enjoying the call. Go GWS. Crisp can keep going. Yes, he can keep his consecutive games run going after being cleared by the MRO for his tackle on Tom Blamires earlier. Here at the showground, it's the Cats by 25 over the Giants. A reminder, of course, they've lost their past four. Against the Giants have Geelong, and they're coming up later on. Carlton plays Hawthorn at the MCG, Adelaide v Gold Coast at Adelaide Oval. Before we get to all of that, right now it's time for ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. US President Donald Trump has threatened Iran after the funeral of its Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei saw open calls for his killing, further underlining the tensions gripping the Middle East as the interim deal to end the war buckles under repeated flare-ups in the region. Trump made the comments on social media after senior US officials demanded Iran make a public statement saying the Strait of Hormuz is open and ships traversing the vital waterway won't be attacked anymore. In response to public calls in Iran for his assassination, Trump wrote 1,000 missiles are aimed at Iran, with thousands more to follow in the event of it trying to kill him. China has announced a temporary export ban on helium as the resumption of military conflict in the Middle East threatens to trigger new shortages of the gas critical for computer chip manufacturing. Earlier this year, the US-Israeli war on Iran led to helium shortages, disrupting companies globally, including in China, where the AI industry increasingly relies on domestic chips. Helium is essential for heat management in semiconductor production. Ambulance Victoria is reporting record demand across its services, with paramedics attending more than 1,000 Code 1 emergencies every day over the past week. A surge in winter illness is contributing to the demand, prompting a plea for Victorians to only call 000 for serious or life-threatening emergencies. Ambulance Victoria Acting Chief Executive Tigran McManey says they're expecting the demand to remain quite high across the weekend.
We definitely prioritise ambulance attendance to those who are in most need. So definitely for our emergencies such as strokes, cardiac arrest, chest pain, serious respiratory ailments, we absolutely want to be there and help you.
The Mayor of a central Victorian shire has been forced to stand down after becoming the third council representative to have criminal charges laid against them by a local resident. Everett Gray takes up the story.
Hepburn businessman David Penman has laid private prosecution charges against Hepburn Shire Mayor Tony Clark. The charges relate to financial documents that are alleged to be missing from the Shire's annual budget, which was passed by the council last month. Councillor Clark has been forced to step down from council. Mr Penman also laid private prosecution charges against Hepburn councillor Don Henderson and CEO Bradley Thomas back in March, and those matters are still before the Supreme Court. In a statement, Hepburn Shire has noted that all allegations are unfounded and untested and are not part of a police investigation.
Investigations are continuing into the disappearance of a 30-year-old Darling Downs woman in Queensland. Chelsea Malunga reports.
Yana Armstrong has been missing for 4 days. She was last seen at her home on Gordon Avenue in Newtown on Tuesday. Her car was found unlocked and abandoned nearby, sparking concerns for her welfare. Detectives say her 4-month-old baby was found at Ms. Armstrong's Newtown home and is being cared for by relatives. Specialist crews are today searching through bushland at Black Gully Reserve and Rangeville in the Toowoomba area. Police are keen to hear from anyone with information that could assist the search.
An emergency declaration sparked by a police incident in the Rockhampton region in central Queensland has been lifted. Officers attended a property on Granville Street in Emu Park at around 1:30 this afternoon after reports of shots being fired. Authorities have since confirmed there were no firearms located and no one was injured during the incident. The declaration was revoked at 3:20 this afternoon, and police have thanked the community for their assistance. In sport, Spain will meet France in the FIFA World Cup soccer semi-finals next week after the Spanish side's 2-1 victory over Belgium in Los Angeles. Laurie Buttrose has more.
Spain dominated the match early with Fabien Ruiz scoring in the 30th minute, but Belgium equalised before the break. Disappointment plagued the Belgians after it, however, with highly regarded goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois forced to leave the field with a thigh injury in the 71st minute. Spanish substitute Mikel Merino was on the field for less than 6 minutes, but scored in the 88th minute of the match to send his side through to the final four. The other two quarter-finals will be played tomorrow morning Australian time, with Norway facing England in Miami and Argentina meeting Switzerland in Kansas City.
And in rugby league, Cronulla has thrashed the Dolphins 66-0 in Brisbane.
Comedy, music and tricky clues.
Because Spicks and Specs is back. More music than a comedy night, more comedy than a concert, and enough trivia to impress your co-workers for weeks.
New Spicks and Specs. Streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
And pass off in space now, overrun by Martin. Angle in trouble though by Wiltshire. It came to Fonte. No, it wasn't. Tackler is rewarded, holding the ball. 1 goal 3 against the Lions last week. Wiltshire, he pops this through from point-blank range.
Well done by Toby Green. Found some space at centre-half forward. Got it to Bedford. The Giants need the next badly. That might have evaded Connor O'Sullivan. I think it has. And bounced through. Well, it was scrappy in the end, but crucial for the Giants.
Geelong go back inside 50, and it's marked in the pocket. It was a pinpoint kick to find the man down there in Ollie Henry. And then he'll have it in the left forward pocket. Opens up the angle, Henry, and curves it around superbly. At last, the Cats have one. Oh, peppering away.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half-time here at the Sydney Showground as your Saturday of footy on ABC Sport continues. Geelong leads GWS by 25 points at the major break. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb, dual best and fairest winner at the Brisbane Lions, Joel Patfull, dual All-Australian Alicia Eva, with Phil Pryor's contribution from the boundary as well. I did just see, speaking of the boundary, I did just see our good friends Ty Connelly and Jason Saddington walking along the boundary. There's, I guess it was like a Little League thing. I don't think it was academies, although it might have been. we count those, don't we, in the academies, the under-8s? But they did give a wave, so they would have been in the box, I think, here with us, if not for the fact they were required down there. So nice to see them. Things happening elsewhere, by the way. I mentioned earlier that the Saints beat Port Adelaide by 14 points at Docklands earlier today. Zach Butters headlines the injury concerns there for the Power, among other reasons, because it may well be his last game in a Port Adelaide jumper, but that's an ankle injury, suspected syndesmosis. Mitch Georgiades concussion, Lockie Jones ribs, Jack Lukosius also finished on the bench with a leg injury. So the Saints led by 36 points at half-time. Port got within 3 points on 3 separate occasions in the second half, but never got their nose back in front. Cal Wilkie, 34 disposals, 16 marks, best of field. He got the 3 votes in the ABC Player of the Year. And the Saints improved to 8 wins, 9 losses in 10th spot on the ladder as it currently looks. 14-point winners earlier, St Kilda over Port Adelaide at Docklands. I mentioned tonight Carlton v Hawthorn at the MCG, Adelaide v Gold Coast in the City of Churches. You can hear either of those games via ABC Listen, our trusty app. Just stream ABC AFL or AFL Extra for a call of either of those games, which we'll preview a little later on as well. In the NRL, an all-time win for Cronulla. They beat the Dolphins 66-0, so their biggest winning margin ever at Dolphin Oval earlier up in Redcliffe. And the game happening just next door here at Stadium Australia, Canberra 4 leads the Bulldogs 0. In the NRLW earlier today as well, wins to... where are we? Round 2. Wins earlier to the Titans over the Bulldogs. West Tigers beat the Cowboys, and the Roosters lead Newcastle 6-0 in the first half across town at the Sydney Football Stadium. And the World Cup, Garby, your World Cup is over. But of course, we have the semi-finals fast upon us. Of course, we'll see France play Spain in one of those, and then our final remaining 4 teams to the other semi-finalists. We've got England up against Norway and Argentina against Switzerland. So likely England, Argentina joining France and Spain in the semis.
Well, they're the 2 favourites, and if so, haven't we got a couple of blockbuster semis? And England and Argentina, you could probably make an argument as one of the bigger rivalries in world sport, certainly in world football. Can you consider the war history in the Falklands between the 2 nations, and then the Maradona hand of God, the David Beckham red card in 98. They dislike each other enormously. If they meet in the semi with France and Spain, who are the 2 best teams in it up to this point in the other semi, my goodness, we'll have 2 incredible games on hand. But England have got to get past Erling Haaland and Norway tomorrow, and Argentina the same against the Switzerland team, who are really good in the other quarter.
Geelong by 25 points here at the Sydney Showground. Your text welcome 0437 774. I omitted this part of Tegan's text earlier before news. The Occam's razor definition. Are you across the Occam's razor? It is Occam's razor is a problem-solving principle stating that when faced with competing explanations, you should prefer the simplest one. I think I agree with that. Okay, if you keep getting banned for dangerous tackles, it's probably because you're tackling dangerously. Regarding Paul Curtis and his repeat infringements there, and Jack Crisp cleared, by the way, by the MRO for his tackle on Tom Blamires out of last night's game. Alicia Eva, Joel Patfull, where's this game going?
Well, Finn Callahan started forward, and O'Shane Mullen's gone with him. Just to point that out, but big second half underway for both sides.
Jazz has still gone back, so Daniel Garb, second half underway.
Giants trying to get Finn Callahan into the game. O'Shane Mullen doing a brilliant job on him so far. Cats up by 25 points. Here's Bailey Smith on the run. 40 out. Slots it. Brilliant start to the second half for the Cats. And Bailey Smith, with 18 disposals to his name, now has a goal to boot. But there is a casualty behind play for Geelong, and that's Tanner Bruin. And there is a couple of concerned teammates standing around him, Max Holmes and Ollie Dempsey. Big goal by Bailey Smith to send Geelong out to a 31-point lead. Rooney's back to his feet. That's a good news in terms of it not being a muscle or a ligament injury or a bone injury of some sort. But he did get thrown into the turf by Toby Bedford, and that is likely to be looked at. Bruin, though, seems to have shaken it off to a reasonable level, and that might save Toby Bedford. Cats lead, though, by 31 points. Bailey Smith finishing off the play.
What's the Occam's razor on that? What does our man Razor think? That's what I want to know. 31 points is Geelong's lead here. So a goal from that very first stoppage. Bailey Smith, and now Neil shots away Clayton Oliver. Smith gets involved again. Tumbling kick inside forward 50 here for Geelong. Bouncing down there towards Blitzarves, not back here in the path of Bruin. He sends Geelong back towards that goal square. Up in front, down there again. It was Ollie Henry. Martin can't get hands to it. Himmelberg does for the Giants. Ash spun a full 360 in the tackle on the goal line, and Himmelberg runs it out of bounds for a throw-in.
Well, 2 huge centre bounce clearances for the Cats, straight down into their forward 50. Exactly what the Giants don't need. They need better field position, get it up the other end of the ground and hold it in there. 42 inside 50s now for the Cats.
Shannon Neal wrestling with Briggs. Briggs palms it down. Well done by Iden to get to the footy first, but a strong tackle by Nevitt on Angwin to lock it up. Inside forward 50 for Geelong. 31 points they lead by. trying to break this run of poor form, the Cats. Oliver clears defensive 50. Blitzabs is there. And he's able to spoil it away from Cal Brown. The two number 46s going at it. So a boundary throw in just forward of the wing, right next to where Phil Pryor's sitting.
Back to you shortly, Phil. We'll toss it back in on that member's side. Blitzabs. Oliver left it behind. Nolan's hand pass off the deck, went off the face there of his teammate Blitzabs. Now Clayton Oliver gets involved for the Giants. High spiralling ball towards half forward. Cadman taps it out in space. Green gets there in front of Humphreys. Toby Green is under some pressure, and his hand pass went straight to his good mate Jeremy Cameron, who just thumps it beyond defensive 50 here for Geelong. It's hot footy on the outer side, won by Dempsey. Off here to Holmes bursting by, and now again here tackled is Neal. Dempsey gets involved again. Spun down by Thomas. Holmes. Whistle on play here, coming back for a hold that will go the way of Geelong and Ollie Dempsey.
Geelong were able to win that contest there with a lesser number. So their hunt around the contest has just been a bit better than the Giants.
It's picked off inside 50 here, so Fonte off here now to Gothard. Little 1-2 hand pass. Gothard now provides some support there with Callahan. Umpire's going to pull him back here for a throw. Or sort of a tap, but more of a carrying motion. So incorrect disposal. Geelong ball at half back with Mullen going wide to find Cameron.
Jeremy Cameron playing out of defence this afternoon. Possession number 15 for him. He's guided towards half forward, but Sam Taylor, full-chested, comes out to meet it, leading the back line with aplomb this afternoon. His 19th disposal coming up. So there's two shy of his career high, Sam Taylor.
Well, they're lucky they had him out there today. He's been fantastic down back.
He's great seeing and watching back at his best, a two-time All-Australian. Giants trying to generate some run out of half-back, but Fonte's turned it over. Picked off by Kolajasny. Now at half-forward. Jack Martin taps it to himself, but might have done a little bit too much. Teammates trying to alleviate the situation. That was Atkins, now Humphreys, and he's well tackled. So the Giants were able to drive Geelong back there, and Brown wrapping up Humphreys. They'll have a ball up at centre half forward for the Giants to trail by 31 points.
Up it goes. Briggs palms it down. Bowes burst through stoppage though, and he's grabbed immediately by Angwin. Umpire says holding the ball. Ryan Angwin has it here for the Giants. It's his 14th game this year. The most he's played in a season is 15. That was a few years ago. One of those fringe players on their senior list. Angwin goes inside 50, trying to find Stringer. Chopped off down there by Humphreys, who turns tackler down there as well on O'Halloran. Ball just free now for Stringer. Spinning through traffic now, Kolajasny dispossessed. Hand passed out there by Nevitt. Humphreys off the deck, off to Holmes, and now Smith from right half back to one-on-one. Down there in the contest, Laverde is there with Ollie Henry. Room to bounce and go inside 50. Not quite a neat kick though. Himmelberg's there first in the contest with Dangerfield. Paddled back there in the path of Laverde. Out of a tackle. We'll come back here for a hold. Giants free kick. It will be with Lockie Ash at centre half back for GWS, who trail by 31 points. 6 minutes played, third term.
Ash up to half forward. Cal Brown takes the mark, opposed to Jeremy Cameron, and plays on quickly. Gives it to Toby Green. The skipper assesses his options. Long ball looking for Stringer. He'll take the mark. Didn't take it on the second attempt. Had the perfect sit, but then out of nothing has a shot on goal, Jake Stringer. But it misses to the left-hand side. So Stringer with a couple of behinds, only 3 touches this afternoon after kicking 7 last week. Probably should have taken the mark on the second attempt. Cats lead by 30 points.
Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Geelong have only come out with the 4 on the bench in this third term. Jack Henry will not return to the field tonight as a precaution following a knock to the throat.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Repeating earlier, Mark O'Connor was laid out for quad tightness. Cats go inside 50 here. Low ball, Neal to Dangerfield. Tumbling kick from the pocket. Doesn't quite have the angle. Picked up there by Thomas on the last line. Lockie Ashkin bursts away. Shows good pace. Off here to Bedford. And now by hand again here to Harry Oliver. Back to Bedford. Middle of the ground, Clayton Oliver. Now Ash still going. Sweeps it wide now for Rouston. Giants on the entry with Rouston. Have a look from 48, son. Goes toward the pocket. 2-on-1. Up there, Cadman couldn't get there. Guthrie will rebound now for Geelong.
That was the Orange Tsunami at its best. Beautiful run out of half-back, but Rouston failed to cap it off with a kick. Holmes goes short to Blitzabs, and now Bailey Smith marks on the wing.
Just corridor ball use. I think there was a text message.
We have a serial corridor fan on our text every single game.
Cats move it on through Guthrie. Inside 50 they go. Himmelberg is back there, and he takes the mark uncontested in front of Ollie Henry in the end. Here's Angwin.
He had nothing to kick to.
Scrappy kick. Should be turned over. And Sullivan's there. Cadman did well to make a contest. And now Oliver has it at half-back. Can't quite release it, though. Well done by Holmes to win it back. Got it to Kolajasny by hand to Humphreys. Managed to get the hands free and move it forward, but it's over the boundary line now. Forward of the wing. A throw in just outside 50 for Geelong, who lead by 30 points.
Well done, Clayton Oliver, then. Giants were, I think it was a 4v2 Geelong's way then, and he just willed himself to just get a few repeat tackles in. He's blown himself up now, but he started well this third quarter.
And the Giants run down this deficit. 30 points the Cats' way. It's come back in a field of play, and now a high tackle. Ooh, a bit of afters here with Rouston down there initially. And it will be awarded the free kick, and now Bowes and Angwin still wrestling as Rouston gets to his feet at left half back. Pete from Footscray says Occam's razor, otherwise known as the KISS principle. So keep it sweet and simple, or keep it simple stupid. This kick not so simple here for Rouston. It bounces out of bounds for a throw-in. Geelong ball at right half back. I've never heard Occam's razor before. You got to before, Gardy? Occam's razor? No.
So I have.
No, I'm glad it wasn't just me. Kolajasny retreats inside defensive 50. Toby Green makes the contest down there on Zach Guthrie. Gives away the free kick. So the Geelong defender. So the Cats by 30 points. Riley's on his way home from umpiring local footy at Northern Tas. Loving the call. Go Cats. Thank you, Riley. 0437774774. Bailey Smith kicks down the line to find Humphreys, and the Cats are away.
Getting busy, Bailey Smith. Plenty of the footy now.
Oh.
Humphreys' kick. Well spoiled away by Shannon Neal by Sam Taylor, who has been fantastic throughout this game for the Giants. But his team has a lot of work to do if they want to keep their 4-game winning run going against Geelong. Trailing by 30 points.
They do. It's that forward structure. They need to have a look at what's happening forward of the footy. They're getting the inside 50s but can't finish off their play. That last kick inside 50, struggling to find a target.
And Tanner Bruin is in trouble. He's going down to the rooms now. Perhaps a bit of a delayed impact from that head knock. The dangerous tackle from Toby Bedford earlier on. So that could be an interesting story. And he doesn't look like he's in a great way, Tanner Bruin, as he heads down to the rooms.
You're right, Joel. The Giants aren't able to find marks inside forward 50. I mean, Cadman's doing a good job of bringing the ball to ground, as is Jake Stringer, but they're just losing it at ground level as well.
They lost it here as well through Ryan Angwin. Trying again, Finn Callahan. Got some kind of kick away. Bowes there collected by Hamilton. And we'll ball up again, members' side of the ground. Umpire waste no time with Briggs and DeConing in the ruck. Mullins kick smothered. Gathered here by Laverde. Fires out the hand pass. Got some dash going here through Angwin, the Giants, from just forward of halfway. 3-on-2. Loose man in there. Well, dropped by O'Sullivan. Cadman spins through. Check side. Might bounce toward goal, and took an unkind bounce for him. Out of bounds here. And no change to our score. Just the one goal in this second half so far, which was Bailey Smith's goal in the first 30 seconds of the third term. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, there's some extra context with Tanner Bruin, who twice in that first half had quite lengthy assessments down on the bench. He didn't actually take part in the last 15 minutes of that second quarter with some kind of hip flexor issue.
Cats out by 30 points. Ball in dispute inside attacking 50 for the Giants. Nice tackle by Cadman to lock it in that area on Humphreys. We'll have a ball up. We need the next one desperately. GWS. Briggs tries to tap it over his shoulder to the on-running Toby Green. The ball is locked up once more. He's battled away well, Kieran Briggs. It's DeConing now, one of the rotating Geelong ruckmen. Here's Toby Green. Just a high up and under. Couldn't go very far. Evades everyone, and eventually it is knocked through for a rush behind. So The lead is 29 points in favour of Geelong. You look pretty comfortable in the manner in which they're defending it right now, Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull.
Well, the one thing you know against Geelong is they want to get Tom Stewart as a spare. So everyone knows that going into the game. And the Giants just don't have a plan for that at the moment. They've continually bombed it inside 50. Whether it's Stewart, whether it's Cameron, O'Sullivan, they're just getting loose and creating that spare behind the ball, and then they're using it on the way out. The Giants need to come up with a plan on how they can fix that.
Free kick against Jack Martin, or against Brian Angwin going the way of Jack Martin, and he'll throw it across defensive goal here for O'Sullivan. They'll choose the outer side here, Geelong. Dropped out there by Guthrie. Bailey Smith burst through the tackle of Jack Au, and will ball up again on that southeastern wing of the Sydney Showground. 13 minutes played in this third term. 8-7-55 plays 3-8-26. That's Geelong's lead so far. Dempsey battled it down there towards O'Sheen Mullen. Manor bursting by on that left peg inside 50 as Ollie Henry dispossessed. Thomas Hampass also a shocker. Henry was taken high. Free kick Geelong. 60 out from their attacking goal at the Olympic Stadium end. 29 points their lead. Bailey Smith onto it now. Let go from 55 towards full forward. Nevitt in the contest got a shove. Another free kick going the Cats' way. And more opportunity here for Geelong to extend their game-high lead midway through this third quarter.
Well, it's a bit lazy there and almost dangerous to push in the back into the contest.
Yeah.
Was it Laverde or Angwin almost? I think coming off the wing might have pushed him into the
Oh yeah, Angwin pushed him from behind.
In the goal square.
Yeah, he got sandwiched between them. Did Mitch Nevitt on his second game this year? His first since opening round, and he pumps this through. Geelong's second goal of this third term, and they extend their lead now to 35 points. 9-7-61. So the Giants are a 3-8-26, 14-minute mark of this third quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull.
Well, a nice finish there from a pretty simple set shot, but look, yeah, shoved in the back, Ryan Angwin. Look, what do the Giants do for the remainder of this third term? They're actually winning clearances, the Giants, which suggests that they're getting territory, but it's just this forward 50, forward connect that's really, really breaking down for them. And Geelong just seem to be able to move the ball too easily on turnover. What does Adam Kingsley do? Do they equalise numbers? Do they send someone to Tom Stewart? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next 10 minutes.
Well, the basic skill levels let them down at the moment by hand and by foot. So there's a turnover around their defensive 50 that time, which forced the ball back inside 50. Just that basic skill, chaining those possessions out of their back half, letting them down.
Bailey Smith, 7 disposals, 263 metres gained, 2 score involvements and a goal in this third term alone. Having a big impact when it matters. Cats up by 35 points. Giants need to get moving quickly. Here's Harvey Thomas on the wing. Goes back to Rouston, over the top to Briggs. He'll pump it inside 50, the big ruckman. Who can fly for GWS? Cadman's there. O'Sullivan does well to punch it away. Gothard will snap. But it was touched off the boot. The kick was impacted. And Dempsey, in line with Cameron, were able to move it out of defensive 50 for Geelong. O'Sullivan tries to slap it forward. Didn't connect. Gathered by O'Halloran. Got it to Gothard. Evaded the tackle. Now to O'Halloran. There's a shot off a step from just inside 50. Hits the post. And it's looking pretty good. So it just hit the woodwork. Xavier O'Halloran's effort. The Cats' lead is 34 points. We've gone 60 minutes in this third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Joel, to your point then, in terms of foot skills and fundamentals, the Giants really seem to be missing Lockie Whitfield tonight. We know the Giants don't want to kick long down the line because there's an outnumber. Just having that elite ball user across half-back that can find those shorts, they're definitely missing him tonight.
Members side, Nevitt, Manor, and now Holmes on the outside. Room to bounce, and now kicks up to the flank. Dangerfield from behind on Laverde. Spills to Taylor. Laverde back here. And the Giants can release from half-back. Briggs takes the mark on the wing members side. Toby Green from a standing start collects it and just slows things down for a moment here, the Giants skipper. High ball inside forward 50, trying to find Cadman. It's picked off by Humphreys. His intercept ball at both ends. It's been not a high quality game, must be said, but the Cats do lead by 34 points, 17 gone in the third quarter.
He's taken over the boundary line on the outer side, so we'll have a throw-in. Dempsey there in front of Iden. Jake Stringer can't get into the game at all. 3 disposals, 2 behinds after kicking 7 last week. They need something from him, don't they, to try and spark the side.
Yeah, he's almost got to lead up through the spare numbers. A lot of the time he may not get used, but at least it kind of takes the eyes off. It takes the Geelong spare who's sitting back in the hole. He has to then start worrying about what Jake Stringer's doing if he's leading up through him.
Another ball up on the wing. Cornelio just 6 touches. Harvey Thomas just 8. Cadman has been quiet as well. And Callaghan, well beaten by Mullen so far in that tagging role. Here's Dangerfield inside 50. Did well to get the arms free opposed to Iden. And then bodies fall on the football. We'll have a ball up, 40 out from the Cats' goals. They lead by 34 points. Here's Brett Spriggs. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Feels like nighttime footy now. Cool but sunny day here in Sydney. And Jack Owl in his second game works it away to his fellow debutant from last week in Hamilton. On the outer wing here for the Giants. A bit of a tussle there with Stringer and his opponent Collar Jasny. Onto it though first, blitz halves. Hand pass out in space. Stringer still running. Humphreys brings him down up against the boundary line. That will be thrown back into play for a forward 50 stoppage for the Giants.
We did well to force an inside 50 stoppage there. Jake Stringer actually ran under footy and was outnumbered with that Geelong spare, but that's what they need. Hold it inside 50, create a stoppage, build the pressure from here.
As we approach time on here in a somewhat lacklustre third term, the Cats continue their dominance in the game. Cameron sockles it away beyond defensive 50. Fonte is there first for the Giants. Run down by Dempsey. Had opportunity here. Umpire says play on. Cornelio receives a hand pass. Tumbling kick back to half forward. One of the chest of Mark Blitzarves where the Cats will start again from half back.
Along with all the answers. 19 minutes gone in this third term. They lead by 34 points. Lost 4 of their last 5. This could be a really big win for Chris Scott's side. Plenty of time. Of course, still left in this quarter. Never mind the 4th term to come. Ball up, outer side, on the logo on the wing.
They've got 2 spare behind the ball, Geelong.
An advantage paid to Callaghan with a rare disposal, but he just blazed away. Sullivan just dropped off Cadman superbly and took the defensive mark. Once again, the Geelong defence intervened. Here's Humphreys, who takes a bounce, and now a second at half-back. Just chips it over the top and finds Blitzavs out on that long lead in game number 309, marking on the wing while sliding on his knees.
Blitzavs, hand pass off to Stewart. Driving ball inside 50 here for the Cats. 3-on-2. Strong pack grab from Joe Fonte. The man they call Fontempelli or Smokin' Joe, Garvey. West Australian goes inside defensive 50. Himmelberg. Still, by the way, he's third in the comp for defensive one-on-ones, Harry Himmelberg. One of the Giants veterans goes beyond defensive 50. And a leap down there, Hamilton from behind on Guthrie. Guthrie follows up at ground level off to Dempsey. Hurried kick inside 50. Awkward work there for Himmelberg. Towed forward. Opportunity here now for the Cats and Ollie Henry. He's taken out of the contest though as O'Halloran just drives it down the outer side of the ground. 1-on-1. Stringer in the contest with Cameron. And Cameron with support from Martin gets it back and points his kick toward the outer side. Only bounces as far as Cornelio. Just got a hand pass away for Brown. Links up there with Hamilton. Cornelio still running from forward of halfway. Stringer marks. He's still 70 from goal though here for the Giants. So Cabin by himself inside 50, but he goes into the pocket and it's a low ball marked by Toby Green. Green can set it here ever so slightly. It's not quite an improvement there on the angle, but it is on the distance for Gothard at right full forward.
It was actually a much better build-up play then by the Giants because they actually ran with the footy and drew up those spare Geelong defenders. It meant that they weren't fighting 1v2 in their forward line, the Giants.
So Phoenix Gothard among their 3 inclusions tonight. The Giants, left foot snap from the far side of the ground, misses. Another opportunity wasted here for both sides, really, but the home side. 3-10-28. They trail Geelong, who are 9-7-61. 22 gone in the third quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Tough angle, but kickable. They needed that, the Giants. And Max Holmes is allowed to run all the way out from his defensive goal square, outside defensive 50, and kick up to half forward. Dangerfield flew, couldn't take it. Bowes just dribbles one inside 50. Gathered there by Manor. Gets it back. from Henry. Run down by Angwin, but got the hands free. The tackle didn't stick. Kept running on. Sean Manor and kicks the goal. His third. That's the best of the lot and maybe the best of the game. Showed supreme strength, Sean Manor. The Giants fans don't like it. They thought it was holding the ball, but the tackle never really stuck. And he was able to break free, steady himself, and kick on the snap from the right forward pocket. Brilliant goal, Sean Manor.
Yeah, it's a goal. He shows the confidence and the strength that he has in his ability to get up and fight through the tackle. He just didn't accept the fact that he'd been tackled. He was actually on his knees, got up off the ground, never really completed the tackle, did he, Angwin and Manor, and then just to finish it off, it's a check side.
While his shorts were down.
With your shorts down around your knees. So that's one of the best you'll see.
That is an outstanding goal. He celebrates with his shorts still pulled down too. He is such a danger player inside forward 50. Wow, what a goal.
It's now 4 goals in a row. Like the side of half-time, the Cats to lead now by 39 points here at the showground. From the restart, out to meet it, Thomas, but it was Gothard for the Giants. They go back inside 50, but Dempsey does mark inside the defensive 50 for Geelong. Kick a little dicey, but De Koning makes a towering grab here just near the bullseye. Lays it off by hand to Humphreys. And Humphreys to half forward, spilled by Nevitt. Angwin got the pressure on him. Bedford, hand pass off to Fonte. Couple of hand passes in the chain here now for Lockie Ash, and now he sends his kick wide to Gothard in the contest as Stewart came late. Gothard can't get the footy to his boot. Stewart might win out here, the veteran, and Gothard does in fact get him out of the football. So his handball picked off though, only as far as Stewart. Fair dinkum. This is not a high quality game of disposal, so it's going to be a throw-in on the outer side. It's just end-to-end stuff, but the Cats of course making the best of it. 39 points their lead as we've now hit time on. 24 minutes gone in the third quarter. 10-7 plays 3-10 here at the showground on ABC Sport.
Cats in full control. Bedford and Mullen next to the boundary line. Ball stays in and it's centred for Lockie Ash. Can you give the Giants some sort of run out of half-back? Kicks it inside 50. Cadman opposed to O'Sullivan. It's been a really good battle. O'Sullivan's definitely got the honours so far. Ball spills free. O'Halloran does well. Just to circle 360 and then spot up Jake Stringer with a lateral kick. And Stringer, who's been really quiet this afternoon, will kick from 50 directly in front. The Giants need this one badly.
It's a slight change of direction off the wing. Just that inside kick opened up the ground, didn't it? It wasn't clean, but it allowed the one-on-one contest inside 50 and then Stringer to get the mark on the end of it.
35 goals this season for Jake Stringer. His third best return in history. Now he's got his 36th for the campaign and first, crucially, of this game. Just to give the Giants some hope. Stringer finally imposes himself on the contest and the margin is back to 33 points in favour of Geelong. 25 and a half gone in this third quarter, down to Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, I referenced the treatment of Tanner Bruin, who received all that first half treatment, and he's now being assessed in the rooms. Jack Henry ruled out, of course. 3 other Cats received lengthy treatment in that first half as well. Jack Martin has looked sore on the bench. The rest of this game could be a real test of character for Geelong if the Giants can get a real roll on and eat further into this 33-point deficit.
We have seen the Giants run down those deficits before and also have them run down with them in front. So it's the modern game, isn't it? Seesawing momentum. But 33 points remains the Geelong lead from the centre restart. Still waiting for it to pop clear. O'Sheen Mullen lays a tackle, ball up. Just as well for Jake Stringer. I think he was in danger of playing fullback next week if he was goalless, a la the Geelong rule, Jeremy Cameron this week. Down it comes. Bailey Smith first hands to it. Hurried kick, tumbles inside forward 50. Chasing it there is Ollie Henry. And now Laverde gets there for the Giants. Off here it comes to Fonte. Ash bursting off half-back here for GWS. Kick towards a 2-on-2. Going up high, and there was Guthrie. Stringer held it away here for Toby Green. He was run down front on, and a free kick given away by Guthrie. The Giant skipper just spears the pass inside 50 and finds the chest of Toby Bedford, who's 45 from goal on the 45-degree angle.
Well, that's the blueprint for this remaining 2 and a bit minutes and the fourth quarter. The Giants, when they win the ball back in their back half, they can't afford to kick long. They've got to put speed on the ball. They've got to use their run and carry. Lockie Ashoff half back. Importantly, what he does is he takes the ball off the line and takes it out to the open side. It means that if Geelong have a +1, he's useless if he's sitting line to goal.
Bedford, it's an important goal earlier in the game. He kicks from 48 here. Looks pretty good. Don't snooze on the Giants. He's got 2. And they're back with their 27 points as we approach the final change. 10-7 plays, 5-10, 28 gone third term. Saturday footy, ABC Sport, Alicia Eva and Joel Patfield.
Yeah, it's definitely needed, and you're right, Alicia's Toby Green, he lowered the eyes and he hit the target. He didn't blaze away like they've been doing for the last 2.5 quarters. They're going to have to keep doing that because they don't actually have a tall target down there inside 50. The tallest forward they've got at the moment is Callum Brown. You've got Toby Green, Jake Stringer, a couple of smalls, Harvey Thomas, Clayton Oliver's down there as well. So they don't have a tall target that can bring the ball to ground, which has been the issue for the night. So if they want to keep scoring, they're going to have to lower the eyes, hit that leading target, and hopefully they can finish.
Yeah, Cadman having a rest on the bench. O'Sullivan's had the better of that, Jill.
Finn Callahan on a wing now.
Trying to
sure he ends up on ball.
Get into the game with Mullen doing an excellent tackling job on him. But the Giants have kicked 2 in a row. So the margin back to 27 points in favour of Geelong. And Holmes has been well tackled at centre half forward for the Giants. Here's Thomas, tries to knock it forward. Was that holding the ball against Holmes? Some Giants fans certainly thought so. Humphreys under pressure. The Giants have woken up now. And they add a 3rd in a row. Thomas, look for O'Halloran. Missed the target. So Geelong just clears the area. Mullen smartly got hands on the football as it bounced towards the boundary line. It would have been a last disposal free kick had he not done that, the Irishman, who was having a fabulous game on Finn Callahan. And that's just another element to it. Cats lead by 27 points. Boundary throw in 4 to the wing for the Giants.
The Cats up against it with no Tanner Bruin, no Jack Henry coming off in this game. The way out was Mark O'Connell with quad tightness. Smith gets the right side of the stoppage. Bowes sends his kick towards half forward. Marked down there by Ollie Henry. He's 55 from goal here for the Cats. Can they get one against this one of Giants' momentum? Inside 50. Wanting to sit down there to Martin. Won't control it. It's off hands for a throw in the right forward pocket. May even be a free kick here going the way of the Giants. It will be because of the overzealous attempt on the shoulders there of Connor Ryden. So free kick for GWS as we approach the half-hour mark of this third quarter. 27 points is Geelong's lead.
Ryden's kick up to the wing. Cal Brown will fly for it. Comes to ground. Socket forward by Bedford. He's having a really good game, Toby Bedford, with a couple of goals. And then Harvey Thomas is able to lock up Sean Manor. As the call from the crowd says, go to Specsavers to the umpires. Not happy with the way in which the whistle's been blown this afternoon, the Giants faithful. The team trails by 27 points. Late stage of the third term. Lockie Ash takes a mark just outside defensive 50. Runs away from Dangerfield. Now sends it up to the wing. Cal Brown's the target. Punched away from him by Humphreys. Holmes is there. Got it to Manor. Back to Humphreys. A chance for the Cats to kick one before three-quarter time. If Manor can get free. He's well tackled by Briggs. A quick one perhaps from the Giants with the siren about to go. Canelio, I think the siren's going to beat them. Thomas has taken the mark. Oh. And he'll have a shot from 55 out, but I'm not sure he's got the leg for it, Harvey Thomas. After the siren. Cats leading by 27 points.
Back him in.
And if the Giants are to pull off a miracle, this might need to go through, and if it does, there'll be a lot of energy around this place, and there's some spitefulness as well. Wrestling going on at centre half forward. He goes the top, Harvey Thomas, but it'll fall short and be spoiled by some Cats defenders. So 27 points Geelong lead by, but there's some feeling here at the showground. Wrestling going on as the two teams make their way to their respective huddles. The Giants have breathed some life into the contest with two late third quarter goals. Cats though lead by 27 points.
Sean Manor kicked his third goal in that third term for Geelong. 3 goals for Ollie Dempsey as well in this game so far. Singles to Bradley Smith, who kicked the first goal of the third term. Mitch Nevitt also on the board. Ollie Wiltshire and Ollie Henry. Meanwhile for GWS, Bedford has those 2 goals singles also to Cadman, Stringer and Callum Brown. Across ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Listen, it's the Cats who lead here by 27 points at the final change. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
I'm Maureen McGillicuddy.
And I'm Edith Vale.
And we host another cuppa.
Will we natter away with some of Australia's biggest names?
Pop the kettle on with Granny Bingo.
Woke garbage. Exactly.
Search Another Cuppa podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
That's up by 25 points. Here's Bailey Smith on the run. 40 out. Slots it. Brilliant start to the second half for the Cats.
Bailey Smith onto it now. Let go from 55 towards full forward. Never in the contest. Got a shove. Another free kick going the Cats' way. On his second game this year, his first since opening round. And he pumps this through. A Geelong's second goal of this third term.
Dangerfield flew, couldn't take it. Bose just dribbles one inside 50. Gathered there by Manor. Gets it back from Henry. Run down by Angwin. We got the hands free. The tackle didn't stick. Kept running on. Sean Manor and kicks the goal. His third. That's the best of the lot and maybe the best of the game. The ball spills free. O'Halloran does well. Just to circle 360 and then spot up Jake Stringer with a lateral kick. And Stringer, who's been really quiet this afternoon, will kick from 50 directly in front. The Giants need this one badly. And now he's got his 36 for the campaign and first, crucially, of this game, to give the Giants some hope.
Stringer held it away here for Toby Green. He was right down front on. And a free kick given away by Guthrie, the Giant skipper. Just spears the pass inside 50 and finds the chest of Toby Bedford. It was 45 from goal on the 45-degree angle. Bedford, it's an important goal earlier in the game. He kicks from 48 here. Looks pretty good. Don't snooze on the Giants. He's got two. And they're back with their 27 points as we approach the final chain.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
39 points, midway stage of this third term, and the Giants, as you heard there, with those last two goals of the third quarter, 27 points at the final change. If you're listening through local radio South Australia and Gold Coast, you'll take the Adelaide v Gold Coast Suns game at Adelaide Oval coming up with Aaron Bryans and the team. While the rest of us head to the MCG for Carlton versus Hawthorn, and Lauren Borden is there. Loz.
Hello, Spree. Yes, we've got a couple of old rivals in Carlton and Hawthorn taking on each other at the MCG tonight. They're meeting for the 175th time in their history. It feels like a real marker for where Josh Fraser sits during his time as interim coach of the Blues. He hasn't lost while he's been in this position, but he does take on the third-place Hawks tonight. They did beat Geelong a little earlier on in his tenure by 4 points, and that was when everyone started to take notice of Josh Fraser and think, wow, is this a sugar hit with a new coach, or is it a little bit more long-lasting? They regain Harry Dean tonight, and they've given a debut to Flynn Riley, a big 290cm mid-season draft pick. Pitnet going out with a hamstring injury during the week, and Lewis Young also went out for the Blues. Hawthorn, well, they returned from that strange old game in Launceston when they were down by 96 points, then kicked 12 straight to lose by 35 points. Their defence is strengthened a little with Jarman Impey and Carl Amon's return. Oliver Greaves will debut for the Hawks tonight. He's out of a powerhouse suburban club in Vermont here in Victoria. The rain hasn't started just yet here, Spree, but we're anticipating there's a fair bit coming, and it's probably only a half an hour or so away. So it'll probably be a wet night here at the MCG, a fair bit of rain predicted tonight. As you mentioned, listeners in South Australia and on the Gold Coast will head to Adelaide Oval after your match with the 5th place Crows are against the 14th placed Suns, who haven't won in 6 matches there, the Suns. So that's where Adelaide and the Gold Coast will be heading. But of course, the majority of your listeners coming to us following your match, myself and Joel Peterson to call the game, Nathan Burke and Brent Harvey, our experts, and Tim Morgan on the boundary here at the MCG, Spriggy.
Thank you, Loz. So Carlton Hawthorn on ABC AFL, that button on ABC Listen, or you can follow Adelaide and the Gold Coast, regardless of where you are around the country or beyond. Both games available via ABC Listen. Earlier, the Saints beat the Power by 14 points at Docklands. Zach Butters headlines the injury concerns for Port, and there were a few of those in that loss. The question is here. Can the Cats at last prevail after 4 straight losses to the Giants? And indeed, of course, in the here and now, their 2026 campaign, they've lost 4 of their past 5. Our experts here are Alicia Eva and Joel Patfull on ABC Sport.
Well, the Cats will be pretty happy with how the game's being played. They've played it on their terms. They've structured up how they want, and they've been able to move the ball forward pretty well. At times, they haven't used the ball as well as they would have liked, but been able to score when needed. The Giants, on the other hand, I think they need to try something else. They need to throw a different look. They need to move the ball slightly different, get it back through the middle, get some quick ball movement, but they've got to use those shorts in between and stop bombing to that Geelong defence. It's absolutely dominated in the air. Like I said during the quarter there, Cadman's their only tool down there, and he hasn't really been finding his way to the contest. So they need to find different avenues to goal and how they can work that through.
Yeah, and just looking at the Giants walking out, Toby Green's going to this first centre bounce. Clayton Oliver's gone forward, so I suggest there'll be a flip at some point. But snooze, Toby Bedford's in there. Someone needs to clamp down on Bailey Smith. Looks like young Jack Yow's going to him at the moment. Bailey Smith really lit it up in that third quarter. He kicked a goal, and I think he's leading all comers for Geelong with a 26 disposal. So he's started to look really dangerous. 27
points remains Geelong's lead here. And as we head into the final term at the Sydney Showground, up it goes. Briggs versus Neal. Toby Green takes on Bailey Smith. Gets hands to it now. A little too low, the pick up there for Briggs. Paddled away here on that wing by Dempsey. And now Neal's kick hurried down the outer side of the ground. Sliding out to beat the football was Ollie Henry. Giants get hands to it now. High kick to half forward. Crashing in. No mark paid there for Hamilton. Now it comes down to Jack Au. Puts his high kick inside 50. Back with the flight stringer. Hamilton's still lurking. Holmes was holding him. Umpire says play on. In fact, now we have a free kick going the Giants' way. So a late call. And I fancy it's going back to that contest there. In fact, Gothard's getting up. So it was Gothard who was taken high. It was a separate incident, but it will be a Giants free kick in that left forward pocket. A chance for more scoring momentum here for the Giants.
Looks like his shoulder's actually out. I don't think he's going to be able to take this kick.
So Phoenix Gothard will keep a close eye on him. Hand pass. No, he tried to get the hand pass off to Toby Green, but the umpire has still had time off. So Gothard's just going to have some more medical attention now as the signal comes from the Giants skipper, and it's that left shoulder. It's just hanging there, and
I think he's in big trouble here.
Yeah, that does not look comfy. Oof. He came down on the tackle of Jack Bowes. That's why the free kick was given.
Very similar to Errol Goulden's shoulder injury early in the season. I think round 1, where his arm is up in that stop sign position or that Y position, and then the weight of the defender that fell on him is just driven him into the ground, so that shoulder's popped out forward.
So it looks like the kick will come to Riley Hamilton after all.
He's in a lot of discomfort, Phoenix Gothard.
So we'll keep it on that with Phil Pryor at the boundary's edge, and the fans realise this is a pretty potentially serious situation as far as shoulder injuries go. Phil Pryor, down to you quickly.
Yeah, we'll obviously keep an eye on that one. Geelong will play the rest of this game with 3 on the bench too. Tanner Bruin officially ruled out. The reason we're still yet to determine. It looks like probably the Giants are down to 4 on their bench.
Okay, thank you, Phil. So here he is, Riley Hamilton, a Canberra lad who debuted last week, lining up for his first goal. He missed one earlier. His first goal in AFL footy. Opens up the angle. Right foot kick. There it is! And the orange jumpers envelop Riley Hamilton. First goal in AFL footy. And gee, it's timely. Margin 21 points now. Momentum with the Giants. 3 minutes played, final terms. Saturday footy, ABC Sport. Joel Patfull, Alicia Eva.
Well, he was probably held on to prior to that Phoenix Gothard incident. He probably deserved the free kick, so he ends up getting the shot on goal anyway, and a lovely finish on the right foot snap. Bends it around nicely. And as I suggested earlier in the game, when he did kick his first AFL goal, he would be swarmed by his teammates. He turns to the crowd and gets very pumped up, as he would be. So well done, Riley Hamilton. And just quickly, I dare say the Giants are down to 4 on the bench now, because Phoenix Gothard went straight down. He didn't go through the interchange gates. He went straight across the boundary, unless rules have changed, and I'm not aware of it. If he was going to come back on, he would have to come through those gates, but he went straight down across the boundary into the rooms.
Here go the Giants. They've kicked the last 3 of the game, and they've won the clearance. Toby Green spiralling ball. Cal Brown couldn't mark it, but he's able to chase it down and gather it inside 50. Gets it to Angwin. on the fly. It's across the face, and Hamilton almost took the mark down there. After kicking a goal a moment ago, he's crashed into the behind post, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. So the Giants surging here at the showground. Riley Hamilton, rat's tail and all, with his first goal in AFL footy to get the crowd going. Tapped by Briggs to Hamilton, wrapped up well. Got the hands free to Angwin. Now Cal Brown for 4 in a row for GWS. You betcha! Here they come in a big, big way. Cal Brown with his second. Geelong's lead is whittled down to just 15 points.
This is why they're so hard to get a read on the Giants, isn't it? There's parts of this game where they look like they weren't going to get the ball anywhere near their forward 50, and then they get a bit of momentum, a bit of energy around the ball, a bit of intensity, and they go bang, bang, and they're right back in the game, and they're every chance. So, I mean, week to week they're hard to read, but contest to contest they're hard to read as well, aren't they? So if they continue to play this way, that high-tempo, high-intensity footy, they look great.
From 39 points, time on the third quarter. That was Geelong's lead. Now 15 points the visitors' way. Momentum with the orange team. Restart back in the middle. Briggs against Neal. Neal wins it down there. First hands to it, Jack Howe. Ash bursts off half-back. Fires the hand pass to Bedford. Forward of halfway, the Giants go. Inside 50 again. Brown's down there with Stewart. Juggles the mark. There's Stewart out of bounds for a throw-in. At left full for GWS.
17 disposals to 1 in this quarter. Played 5.5 minutes. Incredible.
And Giants just winning the contested possession count, +8 this quarter.
Briggs out of the ruck. Manhandles Neal. Follows up. Here's Clayton Oliver bursting by. Hand pass picked off by Tom Stewart. Gives it to the outside there for Lawson Humphreys. Geelong can rebound the footy.
Cats under pressure in a massive way. Up to the wing the kick goes. They've done well to win this contest. Through Ollie Henry. He's got no one forward of the ball though, so his kick runs over the boundary line. That'll be a free kick to GWS. And Connor Iden. He goes short. And finds Rouston. The Giants on the surge. Geelong need to find a way to get back into this game at the moment, despite their 15-point lead. Here's Briggs at half forward. Quick hands to Au. Now to Clayton Oliver. Bedford's free. Surging on it is Callaghan. Hard work by Oliver. Just absolutely knocked over Jeremy Cameron. He's in a whole lot of pain. Ooh. Cameron's feeling his shoulder. It was a fair contest, I think, by Oliver. Smashed into Jeremy Cameron. We'll have a ball up inside 50. But I think Jezza is in serious trouble holding his shoulder.
I see.
And that could be him done for the game, maybe the season. Bang from Oliver on him. And Cameron is writhing around in pain.
I'd say the collarbone or...
Now, he didn't catch the head. It was pure attack on the ball. But Jeremy Cameron has come off worse for wear in a massive way and is now in the hands of the trainers making his way off the field.
Sorry, Darby. It's either a really nasty AC hit. He's in so much pain there, Jeremy Cameron. But Clayton Oliver.
Who says the bump's dead?
Wow, what a contest.
Phil Pryor, the Geelong defenders running towards you.
Yeah, even the Giants fans all around they've just completely stopped. Everyone's so flat. Now everyone is starting to applaud Jeremy as he comes from the field. You know, obviously such a champion play for the Giants as well, and the fans are recognising that.
Ball back in motion, and it's marked out there by Harry Oliver. Left half full for the Giants. They trail by 15 points. They go inside 50. Briggs! Big grab in the pocket. He's 25 out. A chance for more Giants goals.
As he's lining up for this, Spriggy, I mean, he laid a really important tackle at the very end of the third quarter. He's gone up a gear with his intensity. His ruck work to start this fourth quarter has been really, really good, giving Giants looks on goal. So to get forward and take a mark like that.
For a handful, 5 in a row. Briggs doesn't let them down. Nice arrow celebration as well. A tribute we're seeing which transcends rugby league for Jai Arrow, of course, whose birthday is tomorrow, going through MND. That's a nice touch, but even better for the Giants is they lead or they trail by 9 points. They were trailing by 39 points. 5 goals in a row. Kieran Briggs with the latest of those at the 9-minute mark of this final term. 10-7 plays, 8-10. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, as Jeremy Cameron walked past me on the boundary, he was pointing right onto the point of that left shoulder. So I reckon Alicia Eva might be onto it there with it. Maybe it's an AC thing, but obviously we'll wait and find out.
Well, you hate to see it, don't you? And I don't want to say it, but sometimes you don't want your best players down inside the back 50. Big one-on-one contest. Would he have been there? I'm not sure.
Big I told you so from Joel Pappel on ABC Sport.
I don't want to say it.
5 goals in a row for the Giants. Geelong's lead back to 9 points, and the Cats are down to 2 on the bench. Jack Henry, Tanner Bruin, and now Jeremy Cameron, you'd imagine, out for the game. What a finish we have in our hands here. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Bailey Smith, though. Try and get the Cats back into the game. Bouncing ball at attacking 50. Angwin's handball missed the target. Dangerfield's there, couldn't gather it. Angwin takes it over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in. What feels like the first inside 50 for Geelong in this quarter. In fact, it is. Disposals 28 to GWS, 8 to the Cats. Long lead by just 9 points now.
Back in it comes. Up in front, Neil in the ruck. Down to Atkins, left a tackler behind. Hand pass to Manor. And he centres this ball towards the top of the square. Schooled by Martin. Himmelberg provides some support there on Ash, who just thumps it beyond defensive 50. Humphreys there in the contest with Cornelio. Loose man Toby Green from left half back. Kicks high toward the outer side, and Stewart spills the grab. Holmes lurking. Cornelio gets there first, and he's brought down by Holmes and Stewart. Brought up on the outer side. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Phoenix Gothard just had ice put on his left shoulder. His arm is already in a sling.
Geelong by 9 points here at the showground. 11 gone final term.
The Koenig palms are down, but it's gone over the boundary line. Another throw in outer side. Giants fans getting into it now. Plenty of Cats supporters here as well. They've made the trip. They thought they were leaving with 4 points. How quickly things can turn. 5 straight goals for GWS. De Koning and Briggs go at it. De Koning thumps it forward. Manners there. 3 goals to his name today. Shares it with Bailey Smith. And then a nice tackle by Jacko. In just his second game on Tom Atkins. And we'll have another ball up outer side. The Giants now, with all the momentum, all the pressure, and crucially, the extra players. 2 of them, in fact. 3 Geelong players out for the game.
Now to Ash, and he bounced off the tackle of Atkins over the boundary line for a throw-in. Still waiting for a clearance from that outer wing. Every moment matters here, and it's an imperative game in this season, both of these sides. 1-7 the Cats, 7-9 the Giants. Manor lost it. Jack Howe burst through. So too Holmes for Geelong. And now Thomas is pinned out there by Bowes. Umpire says that'll be a ball up. He was going to signal there for holding the ball. So Geelong right half forward. It's a stoppage in their attacking half. 9 points their lead. De Koning slaps it to the outside. Onto it there. Bowes let it go there for Manor, who kicks on goal out of bounds on the full. So Giants ball it will be from that left back pocket. Momentum with them. 10-7 plays 8-10. They played 12.5 minutes in this final term.
Interestingly, Toby Green stayed on ball and Clayton Oliver has remained up forward. Jack Howe started this quarter really well with the 6 disposals.
And they've got it again, the Giants on the wing. Here's Ralston to Stringer at half forward. He's taken the mark, had some separation, plays on quickly and thumps it long into attack. Top of the square, over everyone in that contest. Cornelio gathers it. I'm not sure if he got boot to ball. The umpires will converge. Cornelio's not claiming it, but the umpire hasn't signalled it behind. I think he wants to know if perhaps the ball hit the post. This is a really interesting one because Cornelio doesn't seem to have any sort of inclination that it was a goal. Well, it's definitely a behind. It's off the feet of Tom Stewart, I think. So Cornelio and Stewart were trying to get hold of the football. Cornelio trying to get it down onto his boots, kick the goal. Stewart applied the pressure. I'm pretty sure he got the last touch. It should be a behind to GWS, and the margin, you would imagine, would be just the 8 points in favour of Geelong.
God, he's done some amazing goal-saving efforts tonight, Tom Stewart, as per usual, but across all 4 quarters.
5-time All-Australian, and of course, debuted at 24. Here we are 9 years later. So on that occasion, he does thwart the Canelio attempt at goal. 8 points. Here's Geelong's lead. 14 gone, final term. Ball in the hands of Tom Stewart. We'll just pump it long. Out of the D50. Up goes Toby Green. Spot from behind Nevitt. And now kick was smothered by Atkins. Bounce back for Briggs. Atkins tries again. Hand pass off here. And they got some dash going on. The kick does go wide of Dempsey. And it's out of bounds. So they'll come back here for a Giants ball. Inside the field of play, they come with Harry Oliver on this member's side. Dicey ball made Iden work. Great pressure comes from Wiltshire. They go inside 50 here through Ollie Henry. It's a race on foot. Himmelberg's there in the contest with Jack Martin. Martin keeps his feet. Himmelberg goes down. Mopped up down there by Laverde. He does well for the Giants and points his kick back to the arc of 50 where it's marked by Callum Brown. So they slow things down here. The Giants at right half back. The Irishman, big leg on him. Up to that member's side. Spoil from the back and will fall for Clayton Oliver. Pops the Giants hurriedly inside forward 50. 2-on-1. Stringers outnumbered. Kept his feet. Pressing by Canelio and Hamilton also comes by, receives a hand pass. Open goal, pops it through. Second goal for the second gamer. The Giants have kicked 6 on the bounce and trail by 2 points. 16 gone, final term. Saturday footy, ABC Sport. Hang on to your hats. What a finish coming up here at the showground.
Well, it finishes with Riley Hamilton running into an open goal, but it probably starts with Harry Himmelberg's 1v1 win down in the opposing 50 against Martin.
He's still top 3 in the comp for one-on-ones defensively, Harry Himmelberg.
Well, loving that tonight, Spriggy, but, you know, well done, Harry Himmelberg. That ball went inside defensive 50. They were both running onto it. He bodies, he wins a one-on-one. Laverde gets across, hits Callum Brown. Then they move the ball direct. Really important contest win by Clayton Oliver, who kicks the ball deep inside forward 50. Jake Stringer has the awareness to know where his help is, knocks the ball onto Canelio, and an easy goal for Riley Hamilton.
6 goals in a row for the Giants. A 39-point lead for Geelong is back to 2. And once more, GWS goes forward through Bedford. This will be a free kick to the Cats, though. A last disposal free kick. It's skewed off the side of Bedford's boot. And it'll be taken by Blitzabs. Just outside defensive 50, left half back for Geelong. What a story here. The Giants look gone for all money. They've turned this game on its head in what feels like an instant. Here's Atkins, wrapped up nicely by O, but managed to get boot to ball and squeeze it forward to half forward. Dangerfield took possession, was taken over the boundary line by Laverde, who's been excellent down back for GWS yet again. And we'll have a throw in just outside, attacking 50 now for the Cats at left half forward.
Just does the basics very, very well, Jaden Laverde.
Still a fair way to go yet in the game. De Koning wins it down here. And Manor can't keep it alive. Throwing again at left half forward for Geelong. And of course, have no Jeremy Cameron, no Tanner Bruin, no Jack Henry, all out injured. Jeremy Cameron, of course, the most significant of those with a left shoulder concern. He's been playing down back for all of today's game so far. Came off about 5 minutes ago. On the stoppage, Jack Howe gets first hands to it. High kick up and under. Under it, Clayton Oliver. Does the groundwork too. Shares it to Hamilton, wrapped up by Blitzer. Umpire says, give it to me. Members side for a baller.
Well, if they lose this Geelong and lose Jeremy Cameron for a significant number of weeks, there'll be a number of people saying, well, that's it for the Cats this season. They've lost 4 of their last 5 as it stands. They've got a lot of work to do to win this game. Only leading by 2 points now, after leading by 39 in the third term. Smith to Manor. Guides it to half forward. Taken out of the contest there was Laverde, in fact. With a good mark. Outside defensive 50 by the little man, Harvey Thomas. And here the Giants go again. Harry Oliver moves it laterally to Fonte, who takes the mark and runs. Kicks to half forward. That's out of bounds on the full. His disposal is usually much cleaner than that. And the Cats will have a free kick from right half back.
Verde's still down, getting assessed on the field of play, so we'll keep an eye on him. Long chip it around here. So defensive 50. Onto it now, Max Holmes goes bursting off left half back, and his kick will bounce toward the members' side. Kept alive by Verde. Callaghan off to Jack Hour. Now Brown controls it just forward of halfway. Giants go inside 50. Leading there is O'Halloran, and he marks 45 from goal. Worth remembering, the Giants have not been ahead at any stage today.
Well thought through there, Callum Brown. Had a couple options that he could have blazed away. Could have given the hands to Finn Callaghan, but took it among himself to hit the target inside 50. And has been good this last quarter. Provided the contest, he's been in the ruck for a bit, getting that ball going forward.
I'm going to back him in here, Xavier O'Halloran.
Birthday boy today, 26 today. He's come back for his 99th game after 2 months out with syndesmosis. Huge kick. After 6 straight goals, he kicks from just inside 50, and he sprays it left-hand side, minus score. It's a 1-point ball game here. 10-7 plays, 9-12. About to hit the 20-minute mark of the final term here on ABC Sport. Dan Garb.
A thriller coming your way from the showground. Just 1 point. Geelong lead by. They drive it up to the wing. It's all GWS now. Punched away from the contest by Harry Himmelberg. And Bedford with a strong tackle on Guthrie on the wing. Will have a ball up. The Cats down to just 2 on the bench. The big news, Jeremy Cameron out for the game after a vicious hip and shoulder by Clayton Oliver. It was fair, but it took Cameron out of this contest. Well done by Blitzab to take the mark at half forward. Give the hands off quickly to Holmes. Pokes it across attacking 50. Looking for Ocean Mullen. Didn't take the mark. Lost his feet. Managed to gather it on the turf though. Giants now under big pressure. Taylor lost possession. Is that holding the ball? Cats fans think so. Umpire says play on. Sweeping handball from Green, and here's Harry Ralston.
Ralston has some time now. Room to bounce. Looks at the options upfield. Goes towards half forward. Cutting across Stringer in front of Kolajasny. Kept alive by the Geelong defender though. Kolajasny sends it back to the members' side. Taylor intercepts. Back with that's Hamilton in fact. Back with the flight. Riley Hamilton. It was Sam Taylor-esque on the wing here for the Giants, the second gamer, as they trail by a point. The camera lad goes up inside 50, reaching from the back, Callum Brown. O'Halloran there for it, can't quite get hands to the footy. Cabman, hand pass off the deck. Geelong have numbers around the ball. Bailey Smith can rebound the ball off half back.
Stewart will fly and take the mark on the wing. He came off the bench, Tom Stewart, and read that superbly. Goes inboard and finds Dangerfield just behind centre half forward. Plays on, darts around Iden. Terrible kick from the champion. It's skewed off the side of the boot, but still sits up nicely for Manor. He lost his footing, managed to regain it. Runs inside 50. Sean Manor, the Cats need this. What a goal! What a goal! He's got 4. And that is just like the one he kicked at the other end of the ground where he lost his footing, was able to regain it, steady himself, and goal on the run. Huge moment for Geelong. Back out now to a 7-point lead.
He's a gun.
Wow, isn't he? There's not much else to say. Great call, Gubby.
He is a genuine gun. I mean, he's stiff-armed Toby Green, taking them on. Just the confidence in his body and in his strength to take on those players. Know he's going to get tackled, but then break 50 and settle and kick an amazing goal. It's just good to see, isn't it? Mature age recruit comes into the AFL and dominates.
Oh, it's a good story, and what a great finish. He's just an excitement machine when that ball is in the forward half. Great finish, Sean Manor.
Mind your manners. Geelong by 7. Restart back in the middle. Atkins gets hands to it. Spun down by Bedford, and the umpire will ball it up again. Some breathing space perhaps here. Plenty of time left. Geelong by 7. Pinballs around centre field. Bedford. Ash was almost run down by Nevitt. Lost the footy in the process. Martin. Pressure comes from Bedford again. Slide again. Sean Manor, the goal scorer. Kicks it down the outer side. Spilled by Neal. Briggs can gather now. Kick goes nowhere. Holmes tries to mark. Wasn't 15 anyway. And now Holmes gets a hand pass from Dempsey. Fires it back by hand to Smith. And now Neal. Fonte's in the back of him. Umpire lets them go here. Harrison Oliver keeps it alive. He'll argue last touch Geelong, but it will be a ball in at right half forward for the Cats, who lead by 7 points. 24 gone final term, Garvey.
Sean Manor, 30 disposals, 6 score involvements, 4 goals won. What a game he's having. And 2 of those goals, absolutely magnificent individual efforts.
Only past 50 games recently, a third-year player. Oh, it is in fact reviewed, and it will be, as Harry Oliver was hoping, last touch Geelong, free kick Giants at left half back.
It'll be taken by Harry Oliver. So the Cats stopping that run of 6 straight Giant goals through Sean Manor. Back out to a 7-point lead. Harrison Oliver to Toby Green. Now up to half forward, the Giants go. Well done, Cadman. Won the contest opposed to Kolodjasny. Got it to Cornelio from just outside 50. Himmelberg's taken the mark in the square. And Harry Himmelberg will kick this from straight in front, drifting forward from defence and bring the margin back to a 1-point game.
Well, the reason I think that's come about, Garby, I think Geelong may have sent a forward behind the ball. What do you call this?
And Himmelberg just pokes it through. No worries there. And the Giants get the goal back. The margin back to that solitary point.
So Himmelberg found himself forward, whether he was equalising or going to play on that Geelong forward that may have gone back behind the ball just to give him some added security. But, I mean, Himmelberg's spent a lot of time as a forward, of course, as well. But, wow, what a game this has turned out to be after what was looking like a bit of a bleak third quarter.
Down to Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Jaden Laverde, the Giants defender, he was getting some treatment down here, but he's just returned to the ground and he's got the match-up on Patrick Dangerfield, 1 out in the goal square.
It is that kind of game for big moments and big players who embrace those moments. We're seeing Jeremy Cameron here on the big screen in the wheelchair coming out of the Geelong shed. So concerned with his left shoulder or collarbone area.
Tough game down back.
Ball back in motion. Toby Green wins the clearance here for the Giants. Sends them forward of halfway, inside 50. Good spoil there from Guthrie. Force to Clayton Oliver though. Off to O'Halloran from 40 out on the run. It'll bounce into the square. No. Tom Stewart gets there first. And it's still a 1-point game Geelong's way. We've played 26 minutes here at the showground.
Clayton Oliver up to 33 disposals. And another big game for the Giants. And Himmelberg's taken the grab. The exiting kick from defensive 50 from Stewart, marked by Himmelberg. Humphreys couldn't take the grab in the left back pocket for the Cats. Stewart there to help him. Now Smith didn't get good purchase on the handball. O'Halloran under pressure. Jack Martin puts a strong tackle on and will have a ball up just outside attacking 50 for the Giants, who are putting the Cats under pressure and causing them all sorts of problems. Geelong lead by a point.
Up it goes. One to the outside there. Holmes brushes away the tackle. Kicks down the boundary side now. Smith from pressure from Bedford and Himmelberg. Holmes kicks smothered though. Great work down there by the Giants on that western wing. And it will be thrown back in on this member side of the showground. 1 point is Geelong's lead. 27 gone, final term.
Well, that smother came from Kieran Briggs, who's having some kind of last quarter. He's getting hands on hit-outs. Giants plus 20 in hit-outs, but his follow-up has been exceptional.
Umpire heaves it back in. Briggs does the right work here against Blitzarves. It's come away here as Rouston wraps up Ollie Henry. Will ball up again.
Sorry, plus 10 hit-outs, I should say, not 20.
27 and a half minutes gone in the final term. Don't go anywhere on ABC Sport. Geelong lead by a point as Callaghan soccers it forward. And the ball stays in. Inside attacking 50 for the Giants. Here's Oliver on hands and knees. Out to O'Halloran. Great tackle on him by Atkins, but Brown's marked it. Alan Brown. And he'll have a shot from 20 out straight in front to give the Giants the lead for the first time in this game.
Well, right on cue, I mentioned Kieran Briggs. At that stoppage on the wing, set play, he has palmed that so nicely to Finn Callaghan, I believe, who was out in space. And that passage of play, well, Callaghan ends up soccering it off the ground, but just off the work of the stoppage. Kieran Briggs.
And it was Oliver again at the source of it, winning the hard ball. Callum Brown to put GWS in front. The crowd says it all. The Irishman has his second. And after trailing by 39 points in the third term, the GWS Giants lead by 5 points. 29 minutes into the final term here at the Sydney Showground.
Well, it's all about big moments, isn't it? And it's who can execute under pressure, the extreme pressure that's happening in the game tonight. You talked about the hit out, thinking under pressure. Finn Callaghan, clean pick up off the ground, gets the hands out, and then Callum Brown being able to hold that mark under extreme pressure as well. So some big plays, some big players stepping up when they need to, and being able to finish the goal under pressure as well. I was interested to see whether he was going to kick a drop punt or snap, because he is so good from snapping, but he was obviously backed himself in.
They were 39 points down. Time on the third term, the Giants. They now lead it by 5. Centre clearance, so Halloran burst onto it. Couldn't get the hand pass away though. Trying to provide support. Hand pass out to half forward, waist on foot. Smith might get there first in the contest with O'Halloran, and now it's out of bounds. Was it towed away there by Humphreys, which would constitute last touch and a Giants free kick? No, despite the protest of Steve Cornelio to the umpire. So a stoppage here right on the junction of 50 at the Giants attacking end. The home side leads by 5 at the half-hour mark.
Now, this could be one of the more memorable wins for the GWS Giants in recent times. And a devastating loss for the Cats, considering their lead, having lost 4 of their last 5, and now with Jeremy Cameron off to hospital with his arm in a sling. But there is still time for Geelong to wrestle this lead back. Boundary throw in attack for the Giants. Briggs just works it forward. Cadman gathers it beautifully. One-handed. Bodies fall on him. Back to Hamilton. Gets it to Fonte. Wrapped up by Bailey Smith. Will have a ball up. 30 out from the Giants' goals in attacking 50.
How do the Cats respond here? They now trail by 5. Oliver versus the stoppage. Clayton Oliver. Hand pass to the outside. Now a kick. Off here as Brown sends it wide to Himmelberg. He marks it right half forward. He's still 60 from goal. The Giants control the game and the scoreboard only by 5 points. Himmelberg sends it deep. Players hit the deck. Some fly as well. Neal with the spoil. At the drop. It will fall towards the goal line now. Holmes knocks it up there with Dempsey. It bounced off the goalpost. That should be at least a rush behind. And it will be. The Giants now lead by 6. 79 plays 73. 31 minutes gone in the final term.
And the Cats get something going into attack. As Sullivan gets it to Humphreys. Left foot kick. Mark not taken by Ollie Henry. But they do well to lay a big tackle. Bowes on Himmelberg. Just forward of the wing. Ball up.
Dangerfield up at stoppage here.
Mullen tackled by Callaghan. And we'll have another stoppage. Time ticking down, but still time remaining for Geelong to get back in front or draw level. The Giants by 6 points, so the draw is on now at the showground.
They've led by all of 5 minutes, the Giants, if that. There it comes, Nevitt, kind of paddle advantage. Run down there by Bedford. Mopped up now by Himmelberg. Fires it back to Bedford. Pressure comes from Manor. And now Toby Green wrapped up. Was it high? Umpire says no. So a ball up again at left half forward for Geelong, who trail by 6 points, who have now played 32 minutes in this final term. Neal versus Briggs. It's locked in to get at ground level. And Toby Green and Sean Manor. So who can work it clear? Giants at least have the advantage, lead by 6. Overrun by Bedford. Might try again here for the Giants. In goes Toby Green. Hurried kick up in the air. 2-on-2 on the wing. Who marks it first? Cadman can't control it. Bursting through Clayton Oliver. Callaghan in support. Takes on Guthrie. It's come off Guthrie. It will be, though, just a throw in front of Ufield Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Giants coach Adam Kingsley has made his way down here. He's barking instructions. He's literally making the stoppage calls down here, trying to keep it tight.
How's his stress ball going?
He knows how big this is for his team. With Essendon to come next week, they can resuscitate their campaign, the Giants, so they can hang on here. The Cats move it forward, though. Bouncing ball to half forward. Taylor leads the chase and then puts a Shepherd on for Laverde to gather it. He's turned it over, though. Mullen's taken the mark on the wing. Kicks the Cats inside 50. It was touched on the boot, though, so Taylor couldn't mark it. Had to punch it away. Mullen with another good contest. Down to Ash. Works it out to Callaghan. Throws it on his right boot. Up the wing, up to half forward. Cadman's there wrestling with O'Sullivan. And Cadman's happy to take it over the boundary line. The Giants leading by 6 points. 33 and a half gone in the final term here at the showground.
What I'm loving is, so Clayton Oliver started this quarter forward and he hasn't necessarily come back up on ball. He's kind of picking and choosing, but what he is offering is winning contested ball at full of ball, which the Giants weren't winning in that first half.
And the Giants skipper Alicia Eva on ABC Sport. Clayton Oliver runs into a two-man tackle and he's brought down here. 60 from the Giants attacking goal. They lead by 6 points. Huge game for both sides. Long quarter as well expected because of the Jeremy Cameron delay because of his injury. And now Blitz halves in the contest with Briggs. Never dispossessed. Picked up here by Cal Brown. Hand pass to Callahan. Eyes the goals from 48 out. It's an unguarded square. And it goes all the way. The flying fin. What just have sealed the game. GWS. Gee, what a show. The home side leads by 12. 34.5 gone final term. Saturday twilight footy here on ABC Sport. Joel Patfull, Alicia Eva.
Well, it was Clayton Oliver again around the stoppage. You're right, his contest at the bowl, whether he's winning it or not, he's getting the ball out and he's getting the ball forward in the Giants' favour. Finn Callahan's been quiet all night, well held by Mullen and got his opportunity on the left. For the first time in the game, he's probably had 2 or 3 metres on his opponent, got goal side and was good enough to finish. The Giants take the lead. Continue to lead.
Every single Giants player got around him then. They know he's had a tough night with that O'Shea Mullen tag. So a big moment for Finn Callahan, and it just looks like there's some confusion with the Giants' numbers behind the ball here.
Well, he's had a tough night, as you say. He's toiled away. I reckon that moment made it all worth it. Finn Callahan put the Giants 12 points up. Cats, though, win it out of the middle through Dangerfield. They need the next one very quickly. Smith to Holmes. They can't get it free, Geelong. Now gathered by Atkins. Good tackle on him by Himmelberg. Superb, and he's caught holding the ball. Well, that might just about do it. Hasn't Harry Himmelberg put in a big second half? Brilliant rundown chase of Atkins. And now they can chip it around, leading by 12 points, the Giants. To Callahan he goes. This might be one of the best wins of the Adam Kingsley era from where they were. 39 points down. As Callahan sends it to half forward. Stewart can't take the mark. Here's Clayton Oliver again.
He deserves
it. Cap off his game, dribbles it towards goal. And Humphries is able to take it over for a rush behind. But that means it's 13 points. And that means it'll be 4 points for GWS. 4 coveted points from where they were.
Only won back-to-back games once previously this year. That was in round 11 and round 12. So the win against Freo last week in Canberra. They lead by 13 here. Atkins goes inside 50. It's intercepted down back by Cadman. He's playing in a fullback role, so he pops it down the corridor to his skipper and Toby Green. They take some time off the clock here, the Giants. And they'll celebrate this win, that's for sure. Callahan chips it wide to find Jake Stringer at left half-back.
Jake Stringer has had a quiet game. He's the man who actually got the Giants going with that big goal in the third term. The Giants chant rings around the showground. Ash short to Wyden. Back to Ash. They know it's done now. They were gone, GWS. Dead and buried. They kicked 6 goals in a row. As Taylor thumps it over the boundary line, he's been supreme yet again. Set the tone from early on. And now they lead by 13 points. Siren about to sound. And just wait for the roar here in Sydney.
Well, in modern footy, often you ride the waves. And sometimes it's a tsunami. And the Giants, with one of their best wins of the Adam Kingsley era, run down a 39-point deficit late in the third term to win here by 13.
There's a big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are breaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're
18 points at quarter time, by 25 at half time, 27 at the final change. That was because they kicked the last 2 goals of the third quarter. As I said, down by 39 points in time on of that third term to kick, what was that in the end? They kicked 8 of the last 9 goals of the game to win here by 13 points, 12-14-86 to 11-7-73 in front of a raucous crowd here at the showground.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. Take the longest strides and the highest leap. The stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
And surrender they did not. 13-point winners here in the end for the home side. 3 goals for Cal Brown, none bigger than the one which put his side in front late in that final quarter. 2 each. The first 2 goals of his career for Riley Hamilton. 2 for Toby Bedford. Singles to Stringer. He kicked one in the end. Cadman Callahan, a key goal for him as well. And Himmelberg and Briggs also in the end for the Giants. For the Cats, who were beat up in the end, they've lost Jeremy Cameron, Tanner Bruin and Jack Henry. More on that in a moment, but 4 goals. He was remarkable, Sean Manor, with those 4 goals and 33 disposals. 3 goals for Ollie Dempsey, singles for Nevitt, who was a late in for Mark O'Connor. 1 goal for Matty Smith to go with his 32 disposals. Singles also for Ollie Henry and Ollie Wiltshire as well. But Chris Scott's men fade out in the end for their 8th loss. Now, I mentioned the context around their losses. So they had 7 losses before today, 4 of those by 9 points or less. This was 13, but still a very tight game here in which they couldn't convert that 39-point lead late in the third term. And the Giants get victory number 8 of season 26. Your experts here on ABC Sport, dual All-Australian Alicia Eva and dual best and fairest and former Giant and Lion Joel Patfull.
Wow. Where do we start with this one, Joel? In the third quarter, it looked like Geelong were going to get this game done. The Giants could not move the ball. We spoke about poor skill execution out of their back half. Tom Stewart and the Geelong backs were intercepting everything. And then with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Giants just changed their ball movement. They started putting speed back on the ball. Lockie Ash got going. Kieran Briggs really got going in terms of his work rate. Post stoppage, was following up around the ground level tackles. We saw Clayton Oliver get moved to half forward in that to start the last quarter, and Toby Green went on ball. And I just feel like, I mean, look at these numbers. The Giants win centre bounce clearance 7-0 in that last quarter. They win contested possession plus 17 in that last quarter. They win ground ball gets plus 12 in that last quarter. They win, and importantly, they win inside 50s plus 10 in that last quarter. So the stoppage work of the Giants mids, Jack Owl, the second gamer, goes in there. Kieran Briggs, I've already mentioned, he was outstanding. And I really loved the contested ball winning of Clayton Oliver, not necessarily as a mid in that last quarter, but across half forward, and that's where the Giants were breaking down for the first 3 quarters. And special mention to Riley Hamilton, who's on the big screen here, the youngster in his second game. He kicks 2 goals in the last quarter to really kickstart the Giants' momentum.
There was huge moments, wasn't there? And you're right, it looked like the Cats were going to sneak away with it and do it quite easily, but they almost let the foot off the accelerator and let the Giants back in. We know how quickly they can score when they get up and about and get some momentum, and the intensity around the contest, like you talked about, just increased, and their confidence built as the game went on. So the Cats would be pretty disappointed with letting it slip from that point of view. But I mean, you've said everything that I was thinking as well. I mean, the Giants around the ball, there was some huge contests. Steve Cornelio late was great.
Yep.
Had some big moments. Harry Himmelberg, we talked about how good he was off half back, and when he needed to win the ball, snuck forward, kicked the goal. But Riley Hamilton as well, he gave him a bit up forward, gave him a bit of a look, and gave him that avenue avenues through to goal that they were struggling to get for those first 3 quarters. So everyone stepped up. The whole team stepped up, and that pressure and intensity around the ball. And I think that's why the Giants have been so frustrating to watch this year, because you know that it's there when they can get everything together and play in that high intense, high energy game. They're so dangerous. But for periods of that game, it just went missing.
And Geelong just couldn't get their hands on the ball in that quarter. Like, I'm looking at some of their numbers. So Ollie Dempsey only had the 2 possessions in that last quarter. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players who only had the 2 disposals that quarter from a Geelong perspective. Now, a lot of them will be forwards because the ball wasn't getting down into their forward half. So credit to the Giant mids and the changes that they made there to just give the game a different look. For mine, I don't have the stats, but the eye test was they've just started winning contested ball around half forward.
Well, they wanted it more around the contest. They were more invested in the game, and they were harder at the contest. And sometimes that's all it comes down to. Clayton Oliver was said a few times, but some of his contests were huge. Whether he was getting their hands out or just willing the ball forward in their advantage was great.
It's such a big win for the Giants. So they're up to 11th, and they've got Essendon next week. Yep. So they obviously go in raging hot favourites for that game. They could be back in the wild card positions with players to come back, and lots of them of high quality.
The Cats have now lost 5 of their past 6, and a 5-day turnaround to Thursday night where they face St Kilda at home. They've got a good run home as well, but there's a bit to pick apart as far as the Cats injury list as well out of tonight's game alone, which is significant, and more on that shortly. But the winners, as the story here, the Giants by 13 points in the end. Crowd 13,821 as the victorious Giants are heading your way in the winners' rooms, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, that's right. Here they come. Big smiles on their faces. The change room is absolutely packed with Giants fans who have come down here cheering loudly. I mean, we're going to have to do a bit of a review because, my word, there have been some comeback wins at this venue this year alone. I'm sure this ranks right up there. 46 points in that last term to come home and storm over the top of Geelong. This is going to be a satisfying win and a loud and proud rendition, you would think. Here we go.
Phil, back to you shortly for some reaction from the winners' rooms. We'll hand you across to the MCG shortly as well for Carlton versus Hawthorn. Most of us heading there. Otherwise, listeners through South Australia and local radio Gold Coast are heading off to Adelaide Oval for the Crows and the Suns. And listeners on News Radio staying with us here until 1:30 as well. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Dan Garb, Alicia Eva, Joel Patfull and Phil Pryor, hopefully with a victorious Giant in those winners' rooms very, very soon. Some big moments in there, Alicia. I mean, you mentioned the Briggs smother on the wing here. Riley Hamilton's couple of goals, which both came late in the game when things were on the line. And obviously Finn Callaghan, what do we say? It doesn't have to be your night, but it can be your moment. It certainly was for him with that goal to almost ice the game. Yeah,
it was a class finish that for Finn Callaghan, and you saw what it meant to all the other players out on the ground. To get around him, he copped a hard tag all night. There was no shaking Mullen all night, so a special moment for Finn Callaghan. Another moment that really stands out for me was that 1v1 contest that Harry Himmelberg won in defensive 50. The ball, he wins that contest and then the ball shoots to the forward 50 and Riley Hamilton is the beneficiary and kicks the snag.
Back to the Giants' rooms, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, I've got none other than their skipper, Toby Green, down here. Toby, you guys make such a habit of pulling off these ridiculous comebacks at the showground. My goodness.
Yeah, that was a good one, that one. I don't know what we were down, 30 or 40 points and probably 30 at three-quarter time. Had a fair bit, had to go right in the last and sort of did, and everyone had huge moments and got the lead back pretty quickly, actually, and then, sort of goal behind with still 6 or 7 minutes to go. The quarter went a lot longer than I thought, so it was a bloody good win, good fight, lots of good spirit, lots of good one-on-ones won and crucial moments, so it was awesome.
Are you guys any closer to figuring out the inconsistencies from week to week, but also just half to half?
Oh, we were pretty bang average the first half. But Geelong are a bloody good team as well. They didn't let us play our way. We sort of ahead of the ball as forwards. We thought we were pretty poor, and then I guess every line was convincingly beaten. But you're not always going to win every quarter against good teams. And, if you had said 2 weeks ago we beat Freo and Geelong, we're a fair way off that. So good signs, good positive signs, but it doesn't mean much if you keep backing it up. Now we got, 6 games to go. Got to win 4 against good teams to come. So either dig in and have a crack or we won't play finals. Pretty simple.
Giant killers as well, knocking off some of these big sides week after week.
Well, yeah, we've made a habit of playing probably better footy against the good side. So we've got to work on our consistency, and that's across the whole club from Monday to Friday and then in game. So we're going to have big moments in these last 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So lots of work to do, and that's what you want. You want to be in the hunt at least. So we've given ourselves a chance. Now we've got to get to work.
And there's been a lot of conjecture around your future. I do have to ask, does maybe tonight have anything to do in terms of your decision?
Oh, mate, I'm nowhere near. I haven't thought about it for a while. It's going to sit down at the end of the year. I'm more worried about trying to play finals at the moment, and that's what all my effort's going into. So I'm sure I'll think about that in time. But at the moment, I'm locked in on making sure we can have a crack at, being there in September.
We've got Toby Green down in the rooms after the Giants absolutely stormed home, scoring 46 points in that last quarter to run over the top of the Cats to win by 13 points, and we'll send it upstairs. We've got a full team up there as well.
Tubbs, it's Alicia Reeve up here. First of all, what a win, mate. Well done. Talk to us about that final quarter. You find yourself in at the first centre bounce. Clayton Oliver's forward. What was the message at three-quarter time from Kingers, and what came to fruition in that last?
Well, we sort of felt, at least how I anyway, to start with, we sort of felt the last 5-10 minutes of the third we started to play a bit better footy in our sort of footy, and then last quarter, we had to have a crack, but it was also about, it wasn't kamikaze, it was just play our way, take the game, move it quick, make them run, and then you got to win contests and be clinical ahead of the ball, which we weren't in the first half, so that was the basis of it. And then once you get a bit of momentum, and I think Geelong had 3 or 4 out of the game by the end, so you could feel us running over the top, and that was a positive.
And you mentioned there were many critical moments that were won in that last quarter. Was there one that stood out to you? Was it Harry Himmelberg deep in the defensive 50? Was it Riley Hamilton? Was it Clayton Oliver? What was it?
Oh, well, there was that many big moments. Himmel, well, he kicked the goal at full forward. He saved one at full back. I thought Briggsy was unbelievable. I was running wherever I wanted. It was like under nines again. The ruckman just put it wherever you want, and I was just running and getting there. I was like, this is good fun in the midfield. That was so Briggsy was unbelievable. Finn broke the tag. He had huge moments, and he kept working through. Everyone, Sam Taylor was amazing all night, so you can go through it, but that's what you need in those games. You need boys standing up when it matters.
Yeah, and Kieran Briggs certainly did. Last one from me. What were you thinking when Jeremy Cameron lined up on you to start the game?
I actually said at the start of the week, I said, I bet you he'll start half-back. I didn't think he'd start at half-back on me. I sort of set myself for Mark O'Connor, who I usually get, but he pulled out before the bounce, so I had a laugh. I thought, geez, I'll be able to get off him here, but no, it was good fun, and just sort of worked his way into the game from there. But hopefully he's all right. He's as tough as they come, and I've never seen him in that much pain when he was on the ground. So I'll go check on him after this. It looked pretty bad.
Just on that, Toby, Dan Garb here, mate. It's a shame that Jezza was left in that situation, but the hit from Clayton Oliver, which was fair. Just talk us through that moment and his game and his impact on this club, because he was enormous again tonight.
Yeah, I think Clary's probably had 3 or 4 of those contests this year, and he goes as hard as anyone in the competition at those 50-50 balls, and he's thick and strong as they come. So Jess is not a small guy, and he's absolutely steamrolled him. So that's his bread and butter, though. That's what he's been the best at for 10 years in the comp. But he's been unreal. He's, he sort of swung forward, and I thought he won his contest ahead of the ball really well in the last. But across the year, he's been one of our best players, most consistent. And, he loves his footy and works bloody hard.
Tobes, Joel Paffley, mate. Great game tonight. You mentioned how well you guys play against those higher-end teams and top-of-the-table teams. How do you go forward next week against Essendon? What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, mate. Jolie, how are you, mate? Well, enjoy today. Jez was supposed to stay at mine tonight. We're going to have a beer, but that's off the cards, so I'll still have a beer, but it won't be with him, unfortunately. And then sort of start to lock in for Bombers. It's pretty simple for us. We drop a game, we're in a bit of trouble, especially against the Bombers, who are a team on the on the bottom of the ladder. They're struggling, but we got to. They really challenged us up here, 10 weeks ago, almost beat us. So we know what we got to do. Just got to play consistent footy and take it 1 week at a time. I know it's boring, but that's genuinely what we got to do.
You've been there since day one, Toby. All the wins. Where does this win sit in at least the Adam Kingsley era, the past few years?
Hard to say initially, but it was good. The crowd was up and about. It was awesome. We've had a few like this where we started slow and then come home strong, but. It's hard to tell. It's right up there. The crowd was pretty electric at the end, which was awesome to see at NG. So I'm not too sure, but it'd be right up there, top 5, I'd say.
Can I just ask about Riley Hamilton, Toby? He's got a serious leap on him. He's got I know he's a Canberra boy, but he's got the Western Sydney Rat's tail. He looks really exciting up there. The impact that he had on the team, especially with his first goal in footy late on.
He's had an unreal start. His defence and work rate's amazing, and then his last quarter got on the end of few. But he can play tall or small. His work rate's elite. And he's the nicest kid you ever meet. This rat tail doesn't really suit his personality, so it's strange. But he's a great kid. He just wants to learn and get better. And he's been unreal his first 2 weeks. It's been great to see.
Well played tonight, Toby. Appreciate your time. All the best for the game against the Bombers next week.
No, thank you, lads.
Toby Green.
And Leach, sorry.
Toby Green with us in the victorious Giants rooms, winners by 13 points. They've now beaten the Cats 5 in a row and 8 of the past 10. They've had some great battles, and of course that just breathes more life into their season with back-to-back victories against Freo and the other Cats.
So he's worth discussing, Toby Green, because his future's up in the air, and there's speculation that he might go home to Victoria at the end of this campaign, but his footy is absolutely elite at the moment. So prior to this game, he'd kicked 18 goals in his last 6 games. Tonight he hasn't kicked one, but he's had 33 touches, 9 inside 50s, 8 score involvements. He's playing sublime football right now.
We'll get the votes and all of that very shortly. In the meantime, if you are listening to us through local radio